I'm honored to be here and look forward to giving tribute to one of our great Blue Jays. At this time, please direct your attention to the video board as we take a look at what the level of excellence means to this organization.
Well, I think we have to recognize our past, and I think we have a past that we're very proud of. And to be proud of your past, there are certain players that represent that past, and to put them on a level of excellence so we can all remember it, I think, is what it's all about.
Where you came from, how you got there, those are also important factors. So the level of excellence, I think, tells part of that story.
I think all franchises should have some sort of a recognition in that matter, and even the young kids that come and play here and look up there and see those names and realize what those guys have done for this organization, for this city.
I believe it's important just to celebrate all the guys on the organization.
When you look at the names up there right now, they put themselves up there. We have not put them up there. They put up by their distinguished play.
I feel very grateful. I feel very proud to work with those people.
Those are some great players up there, some great teammates. But the one thing I like about all the guys up there, they had great character. They were good for the game. They were good for Toronto.
All those guys up there really mean a lot to me, but I look at it a different way and look at their personalities and notice the way that they played the game, the way they carried themselves.
Wow, I just say wow. It is an honor just to be selected in that elite group of names.
To be able to go up in that level of excellence with the names that are up there, and knowing your name would be up there for as long as there's baseball here in Toronto, it's quite a tribute.
There's a past that we can all be proud of. There's a past that we can say was successful, and it gives a benchmark for the current players to look up to and say one day hopefully they'll be there too.
And I think it's very important that they keep that going, and hopefully that whole ring around there will be full of people before it's all said and done.
Before we go any further, let's introduce our guests on the field here today. Our first guest, representing the Rogers Communication and Ownership, the President and CEO of Rogers Communication, Nadir Mohammed. He was the first employee of the Toronto Blue Jays. His hard work and dedication have been recognized by many. His name was added to the Blue Jays level of excellence in 2008. Please welcome President and CEO of the Toronto Blue Jays, Paul Beeston. Next, Toronto Blue Jays Senior Vice President and General Manager, Alex Anthopoulos. He led the Blue Jays to 4 AL East titles and 2 World Series championships, and has a franchise record 828 wins as manager, Mr. Cito Gaston. He is the first Toronto Blue Jay to have been inducted into the National Baseball Hall of Fame, and the first and only Blue Jay to have his number retired. He was an American League All-Star in each of his 5 seasons here in Toronto, and was honored on the level of excellence in 2008. Please welcome number 12, Roberto Alomar. The architect of both the 92 and 93 World Series teams, he's responsible for the acquisition and development of the players currently on the level of excellence. A member of the National Baseball Hall of Fame, he also took his place on the level of excellence in 2002. Please welcome Pat Gillick. He is the Blue Jays franchise leader in games, hits, and triples. He played 12 seasons in Toronto in 4 separate stints and was a member of the 1993 World Series championship team. He was honored on the level of excellence in 2001. Please welcome Tony Fernandez. In his 9 seasons as a Blue Jay, he had 202 home runs. He's a 3-time All-Star and Silver Slugger Award winner. He is the only Blue Jay to be honored as the American League MVP. He was the first Blue Jay to be honored on the level of excellence in 1996 ladies and gentlemen, George Bell. Carlos's name will sit beside a name on the level of excellence that means so much to all of us. A name that will enter into the broadcasting wing of Cooperstown 1 week today as the Ford C. Frick Award winner, the great Tom Cheek. And before we get to the guest of honor, Carlos has guests here for this special day. His parents, Carmen and Carlos Sr., his brother and 2 sisters, and former teammates, Jose Cruz Jr., Sean Green, Alex Gonzalez, and Candy Maldonado. And of course, our guest of honor sitting beside me, Carlos Delgado, and alongside him, his wife Betsy, and his children, Carlos Antonio and Mariana. Please welcome back on this special day, Blue Jays great, Carlos Delgado. Carlos, if I can ask you now and the fans, please turn your attention to the video board for a special tribute and a highlight of Carlos's career as a Toronto Blue Jay.
Wow, that's how we're going to start it, huh? What made Carlos such a great player?
Well, you know, you've seen the power that Carlos had, and he's an intelligent hitter for a young kid. I think we signed Carlos, he's probably 16 years old.
Had a great attitude. He always wanted to be a big league ball player.
He not only wanted to be a superior player on the field, he wanted to be a superior role model off the field.
He not only had tremendous talent as a baseball player, but you could tell right away that he was a wonderful human being.
He was gifted as well. He was very strong, very good hand-eye, and he's also very, very smart hitter.
Not too many guys would go out there and study the game. They rely on their talent.
He kept a book on all the pitches, knew what they were about.
Well, my personal experience with Carlos Delgado was one of absolute horror.
Just a dominant hitter, somebody that during his time not a lot of people could have been compared to.
I mean, because every time he came up, it seemed like he knew exactly what I was throwing. And it was either a home run or a double off the wall.
I mean, he's hitting home runs off the restaurant windows in center field.
Day one, he was a special player. He was a smart player. He made the guys around him better.
He taught me a lot when he was in New York. We playing together. You know, as a young player, you know, I was listening to every advice that he gave me. You know, just the kind of person that he is.
But when I think of Carlos Delgado, I think of that big, bright smile.
From an offensive standpoint, there's no one, close to Carlos.
He led the Blue Jays in home runs. I think he had 336, and the all-time RBI leader as well.
You know, he does have most of the records here, so he fits in right there at the top.
For me, he definitely is one of the best Blue Jays to ever put on their uniform.
There's a swing. There's a blast. Way back there. It is gone. Delgado hits it out. A swing and a drive. It is up. It is gone. Number 300 for Carlos Delgado.
You're looking for someone that gets along with their teammates, that gets along with their fellow workers, that's fun to be around.
You look for a guy with great character. You look for a guy who's tough.
A person who was proud to be a Toronto Blue Jay, a person who was proud of the city of Toronto, a person who was proud to wear the Blue Jay uniform.
You look for a guy who's charismatic, and Carlos encompassed all of them.
What a great person. What a great human being, a great humanitarian.
A great teammate, a guy that I played with for years. So it was, he definitely deserves to be up on that wall.
He did a great job in his career, one of the best hitters in the game, and I admire him a lot for it.
Carlos was a great player, and also he's a great person, so he deserves to be recognized. I think Carlos is a Blue Jay forever.
Carlos could not be more happy for anybody that's going on the level of excellence. And all you did was comport yourself with such class, dignity, and superior ability. This is well recognized, and congratulations.
Carlos, I want to congratulate you on achieving the level of excellence. It's great to have you up there with the other 9 people.
Because of all the things you've done for this city, all the things you've done for the fans in this city, and all the things you've done for this organization, we thank you.
Congratulations, Carlos, in your day. You well deserve, and enjoy your day.
Hermano, my great friend, congratulations on being in the Toronto Blue Jays level of excellence. It's well deserved, and this is only the beginning. Now Act 2 begins for you, so all the best.
Now I please ask you to direct your attention toward the left field foul pole, the level of excellence where, Carlos, you will take your well-deserved space on the Toronto Blue Jays level of excellence. Fits nicely, doesn't it? At this time, I'd like to call upon Paul Beeston to present Carlos with the Blue Jays level of excellence jacket, as well as a check for $25,000 to the Carlos Delgado's Foundation Extra Bases. As well, Carlos, the current team, represented by Jose Reyes and Jose Bautista, would like to present you with a painting to mark today's special occasion. Congratulations, Carlos. And now, to reflect on this great day, I'll call our honoree to the podium. Ladies and gentlemen, Carlos Delgado.
Toronto, thank you very much. Thank you so much. Let me begin by telling you how excited and how honored I am from being here today. 20 years ago, on this very same field, I started living a dream. Major League player. I want to take this moment to say thank you to, there's a lot of special people here, but I want to say thank you to Mr. Pat Gillick and Mr. Paul Beeston and the Toronto organization for giving me the opportunity to come to professional baseball, for giving me the opportunity to become a major leaguer. It wasn't always peaches and cream. This is the guy got sent down a couple times. I switched position 4 times within 2 years. Left field, DH, catcher, first base. So I appreciate the patience and the support that you gave me, and trips to Syracuse. Thanks for that. I won't remember. I won't forget. So, but I had the opportunity to come to play in a great city, in a great baseball city. To all the fans, thank you so much for the support over the years. Thank you for welcoming me as a member of this community. Thanks for treating me and my family as family in this city. And when I come back, it's always nice. I get treated nicely, and I appreciate that. And thank you for making this day so special, because let me tell you, as a baseball player, you go out, you try to win, you try to get your hits, you try to make your team better. You're not thinking about awards or recognitions. But when you get that phone call saying that you're going to the level of excellence with the likes of Cito Gaston, Robbie Alomar, George Bell, Tony Fernandez, and all those guys, believe me, it is an honor. It is an honor. Those guys represent baseball in Toronto. They're icons. So my respect to all the members of the level of excellence. It is a great pleasure. I want to recognize my family. Thank you very much for being there for me. Mom, Dad, my brothers, thanks for the support. I know it's tough when you're a ball player. You're traveling all the time. You're away all the time. So I do appreciate it. Dad, thanks for all the PP sections, the ground balls, playing catch. Viejo, te quiero. Gracias por acompañarme al parque, al cage, a trabajar. Definitivamente eso hizo la diferencia. My wife, my kids, obviously this is a special moment, so I want to share that with you. So you guys were great. Thanks for the patience. Now, Betsy, you can go do what you need to do, babysit. So thanks for that. And last but not least, my teammates. Let me tell you something about teamwork. I always say you can't drive yourself in, or you can't score from second if nobody drives you in. So today I tell you, I know you know this, it's a great honor. It was a great honor to strap it on and take the field with you every single day. So I recognize you. It was an unbelievable pleasure playing with you guys, you know. It wasn't always pretty, but we try to make it work. So Cheito, Alex, Sean, thanks for pushing me. Thanks for supporting me. That's great. So it is an honor. It's great to be here. Go Blue Jays. Thanks for the fans. Thanks for the support. And Rays, Gibby and the Gits, thanks for letting me take an extra couple minutes. I know you want to go play ball, so let's play ball. Let's enjoy the game. Thanks, Toronto.
To throw out the ceremonial first pitch, the Blue Jays' newest member of the level of excellence, Carlos Delgado. Mark Burley to receive the ceremonial first pitch. Carlos, it's your pitch. One more time, fans. Carlos Delgado.
History of this organization. You played with some great players on some good teams. Who were the leaders that stick out in your mind?
Yeah, the leaders, George Brett, for sure. For George Brett, the way he played hard, you didn't want to let him down. You wanted to go out there and just play the game the right way. Dave Winfield here in Toronto, just his presence in the lineup and in the clubhouse, you just wanted to go out there and play hard. These are two guys, they weren't cheering and rah-rah type of guys, but they're guys that you wanted to get behind and follow, and then don't let them down. Get out there and play the game the right way. They played the game so hard.
Yeah, and for me, it was similar players. Captain Sal Bando of the Oakland A's, I was a teammate of his in Milwaukee, and he was the same way. You didn't want to let the captain down. And Hal McRae, obviously, he had some influence on George Brett when they were both teammates in Kansas City, but those two guys stick out in my mind as true leaders. They were never cheerleaders. They led by example, and that's what you like to see on the field. Got an interesting pitching matchup. The 24-year-old rookie Chris Archer, coming off a shutout last time out against the Houston Astros, will go up against R.A. Dickey. Dickey, the last time he faced Tampa Bay, 2-hit them for his first career shutout as a Blue Jay. Good pitching matchup. Knuckleballer against a power pitcher. It was a great day prior to this game this afternoon. Welcome back to the ballpark. This is the third and final game of this three-game series against the Tampa Bay Rays, and the Rays are making big noise in the AL East. They have closed to within a game and a half of the front-running Boston Red Sox. Let's take a look at the lineup for the Rays this afternoon. The lineups are brought to you by Quaker State, your durable oil. Joe Maddon's ball club is a different ball club this year than we've seen in the past seasons, in that they've got a lot of offense. Top of the order, Desmond Jennings has always been tough on the Blue Jays. Luke Scott is the DH. He's riding a 12-game hit streak. During that streak, he's hit 3 home runs and driven in 8. And then Kelly Johnson, the former Blue Jay, he's been red hot over his last 10 games. He's at 342. He, too, has 3 home runs in that stretch. It is a tough lineup that's going to have to deal with R.A. Dickey this afternoon.
That lineup last time he faced him wasn't that tough to him. He was outstanding against the Tampa Bay Rays the last time. First of all, it's been a struggle to find consistency, I think, for R.A. Dickey this year. He's been very good at times, and at other times that knuckleball just hasn't been able to move. But he put on a show his last start against Tampa Bay. Two-hit shutout that you were talking about down at Tropicana Field. That was on June the 26th. Ball was dancing all over the place. The Rays just couldn't square up any of the pitches. Dickey's shutout accounted for one of the 4 losses in the Rays' last 22 games. That's how hot they have been, and how Dickey's got to have that knuckleball this afternoon to shut down that good team.
When he gets it in the strike zone, it's nearly unhittable. Take a look at the defense behind R.A. this afternoon, and a new face in left field. The former left fielder back with the Blue Jays off the disabled list. Melky Cabrera is in left. Colby Rasmussen, Bautista center and right. Brett Lawrie moves back to third base, and this is going to be an ongoing transition. He will go back and forth between second and third, according to John Gibbons. Reyes stirs up the middle. Encarnacion at first base, and Josh Tolley is behind the plate once again for R.A. Dickey.
And one other thing that John Gibbons said about Brett Lawrie, don't read into anything about this moving over. It had nothing to do with yesterday's ball game. He had trouble turning a double play and also had an error. Brett Lawrie over at third base, just trying to help him win a ball game. And Melky Cabrera back in left field. Reports are that he's not 100% with that knee problem, but they need his bat in the lineup here to try and help him win a ball game. It's good to see him back. He can hit.
He can hit, and he is down in an RBI situation, batting 5th in the lineup today. So R.A. Dickey, just like the last time he faced Tampa Bay, trying to salvage the final game of this 3-game series. Here's the first pitch of the ball game, and Desmond Jennings in there for a strike, and we are underway. Jennings, 271 for the season. He's one of those guys the Blue Jays really have had trouble getting out. There's that hard knuckler, went right through the glove of Josh Tolley. Dickey's been able to throw that knuckleball a little bit harder.
over the last couple of months, and that's allowed it to move more dramatically. And when it's in that strike zone, he is tough to hit.
A little bit more healthy. The stride's a little bit shorter, and that helps him keep the ball in the strike zone. We'll watch the miles per hour. When he is right around 80 miles an hour, you know he's right.
Here's the 2-1 to Jennings. Looks like he snuck a fastball in there for a strike. It's 2-2.
Yeah, I think he can mix some of those in there. Also, you have to keep Desmond Jennings thinking. 11 home runs, 9 of them have come from the leadoff spot, tied for the second most in the American League. He's dangerous.
Fouls this one into the seats. Beautiful afternoon with the roof wide open, 21 degrees. It's cooled off, and you could not ask for a better day with a good crowd on hand. Yesterday afternoon, almost 43,000 in attendance at Rogers Center. Here's the 2-2 to Jennings. Popped back over the screen. Jennings for the season is at 283 against the Blue Jays. He's actually hit for the cycle. He's got a double, a triple, and a home run. Way outside.
That was the pitch right there. You saw the ball act like a slider to a right-hander, go away from. That was the knuckleball that was very good for Dickey when he threw that 2-hit shutout against the Rays. Dancing everywhere.
Swing and a miss. Jennings strikes out.
Time now for the Scouting Report, brought to you by TD Bank, proud sponsor of your Toronto Blue Jays. R.A. Dickey, he's going to throw that knuckleball 90% of the time. The other time, it's going to be the fastball, and he's got to locate it down and away. Off the fastball, they're hitting 273. The knuckleball just 242. He's got to keep it dancing and not afraid to throw it up in the strike zone either.
Cameron gets a lot of strikeouts when he throws that knuckleball up. Then Zobrist takes one upstairs for a ball. Zobrist has always been a tough out. Interesting that Zobrist is hitting left-handed against Dickey to start this game. The last time we saw Zobrist in Dickey's last start, his first 2 at-bats he hit as a right-handed hitter. Had no success and flipped over to the left side.
Isn't that nice to be able to do that? Well, I'm not getting any hits hitting this way. Let me move over to this way.
That never would have helped me. I would have had 2 bad swings.
But that is very interesting. He's right on top of the plate now as a left-handed batter.
This is popped up and playable. Tolley with the mask off, and you can see he was having some trouble fighting that sun. 2 down. R.A. Dickey, by month, you can see it's been a real roller coaster ride for him. He got off to a decent start, and then May was a disaster for him.
That's what I mean about it's been a very inconsistent season so far for Dickey. Started off brutal, and I think injuries had something to do with that in April and May. Found it in June, and it's all about the knuckleball and the miles per hour for him. He's got to be able to pump it in there about 80 miles an hour. It's too tough to hit when it's that hard.
Dickey missed with that fastball.
He was also doing some neat things when he was pitching well. He was throwing fastballs when the hitters were looking for the knuckleball. He's really messing with their minds.
Yeah, he used the fastball a lot last year when he won his Cy Young Award in the National League pitching for the Mets. And he was able to get ahead with that fastball and then allow the knuckleball to do its thing.
You can get in a lot of guys' heads when you throw a first pitch fastball for a strike. And if you're a knuckleball pitcher, you start thinking, there it was right there. That's the only one I'm going to see right there. I need to swing at that one.
And you got a little hesitation in your mind. Hey, maybe he'll throw me another one. 2-1 to Longoria. Fouled back. Longoria has been relatively quiet in this series. He is 2 for 8 in the series. He homered in game 1 on Friday night. A solo home run in the 6th off of Ismael Rogers. 2-2 from Dickey. Way outside. It's a full count.
There, he hit 80 with that one with great movement.
Longoria takes ball 4. He goes to first with a 2-out walk. I'll bring to the plate James Loney, who will bat for the first time in this series. Loney was just activated off the paternity list. He and his wife had their first child Thursday night in Clearwater, Florida. He rejoined the team last night and is back on the active roster.
Saw him when he rolled in this morning. A little bleary-eyed, I guess. Everything that's happened to him. You see the average, 315.
He's got the best road average in the majors. He's at 367 on the road this year. Longoria at first with 2 outs.
I asked Derek Shelton, I said, what's up with James Loney this year? Why is he hitting so well? He says he's very disciplined, and he stays in the middle of the field, and he doesn't vary from it. Stays right there. Doesn't try and do too much offensively.
Do you think possibly early in his career, Loney was more concerned about hitting to the profile of a first baseman?
Yes, I definitely think so. I mean, he's not a guy with a lot of power. And since he has come to the Rays, Joe Maddon has said to him, you just be who you are. Don't worry about the home runs. You just be a productive hitter. And he's having a great season.
0-2, cut on and missed. Loney strikes out. The inning is over. R.A. Dickey with a couple of strikeouts in the first. We'll go to the bottom of the first. Chris Archer set to take on the Blue Jays' top of the order. Jose Reyes, then Jose Bautista and Edwin Encarnacion. The Big Boppers to face Chris Archer. Win the final game of this 3-game series and avoid the sweep at the hands of the Tampa Bay Rays. Top of the order has been very productive. Jose Reyes, since his return to the lineup, has been a terrific table setter for the power. Jose Bautista this season against Tampa Bay has 4 home runs and a .333 batting average. Colby Rasmus over his last 9 games is at .389. They need Rasmus to be productive down in that order. Blue Jays yesterday were 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position and just couldn't break through in that 4-3 loss.
Had lots of chances, just couldn't get the big base hit. This is Chris Archer, 24 years old, making his 10th start of the season. He's here because Alex Cobb is on the disabled list, but he has put up some great numbers toward his first career complete game and the first Rays shutout since James Shields last season in his last start.
Tampa Bay on defense has committed just 37 errors. It's Sam Foe, Desmond Jennings, and Matt Joyce from left to right. Gold Glover, Evan Longoria at third. Zobrist and Johnson up the middle. James Loney, a very good glove at first base. And Jose Lobaton, the switch-hitting catcher, starts for the first time in this series. First pitch from Archer in there for a strike.
This is a good defensive team. You were just firing through those, and it's better now this afternoon with James Loney in the house.
Reyes hits a hot shot to Longoria, takes his time and goes to first for the out. This is a tight defense, and Longoria has played 42 straight games without committing an error. His last error was May 21st right here at Rogers Center.
Consecutive errorless games at third. That's a personal best. And he's so quick. He's got great hands, quick feet. And you can see right there, even with Jose Reyes running, he didn't have to rush it.
No urgency in his approach whatsoever. Jose Bautista hit a home run yesterday in the third inning. His 22nd home run of the season came on a very good changeup from Jeremy Hellickson. Bautista takes a strike. In case you're wondering, this is the first time the Blue Jays have seen Chris Archer, so they're going to want to gather as much information as possible.
A lot different type of pitcher than what we saw yesterday in Jeremy Hellickson. He is almost like a David Price, a right-handed David Price. He'll throw a lot of fastballs. He's got a great slider that he'll use for strikeouts. And that fastball, when he two-seams it, really dives in on the right-handers.
Hard slider, and Archer has evened the count at 2-2. Chris Archer is 24 years old. We mentioned Bautista facing him for the first time, and you can see all the video you want, but until you get first-hand knowledge of a pitcher, you don't have a sense for the spin on his breaking ball. Hot shot gloved by Zobrist. He went down on a knee and takes one away from Bautista.
Defense already coming through for Tampa Bay. Let's take a look at the scouting report. A little closer look at Chris Archer. The fastball almost 60% of the time, and he can rush it up there 96, 97 when he needs to. Change up 12% of the time, and that slider, great slider. It's a strikeout pitch for him. He says that since he has been pitching with a little bit more consistency, he doesn't have to do too much. I don't have to elevate my game. He said, I just need to stay within myself. You don't have to be perfect in the big leagues, I guess, is what he's trying to say.
Especially when you have the kind of defense that Archer has behind him. 2 outs for Edwin Encarnacion. He bends back from a fastball up and in. Ball on the strike as he goes after that outside fastball.
You know, there's no question that Chris Archer's got great stuff. You just watch him. He's got a very fluid delivery. Had to become a little bit more consistent with his fastball and his breaking ball and get it over for strikes. And you mentioned his last time out throwing that complete game. His first complete game in professional baseball. He said it was the first time he recorded the 27th out of a game since he turned pro. And he said it's the first time he's able to walk off the field.
Missed with that breaking ball. 3-1 to Edwin Encarnacion. That is not that unusual, given the way that pitchers are developed in the minor leagues. They are under strict pitch counts, and oftentimes they're out of the ball game after 5 or 6 innings. Here's the 3-1. How about that? Comes back with a breaking ball, 3-1, and pushes it to a full count. Lind on deck.
That is respect right there. And you know Encarnacion is going to take that information and file it away for a later date. 3-1 breaking ball.
Yeah, and that's the one thing about this entire pitching staff. They're unpredictable. They have the confidence to throw at least 3 pitches at any time. There's another breaking ball. This is hit high in the air to right. Matt Joyce in right field this afternoon makes the catch. Easy inning for Chris Archer. The Blue Jays go down in order in the first.
Brought to you by Home Hardware and Building Center locations. Homeowners helping homeowners with expert advice. And by the all-new, completely re-engineered 2014 Acura MDX, the luxury SUV redefined. Experience it now at your local Acura dealer.
Beautiful afternoon at Rogers Center, and a big crowd on hand. Carlos Delgado was honored with his name being elevated to the level of excellence here in a pregame ceremony. Dickey gets ahead of Luke Scott, the DH, with a knuckleball. Scott is 0 for 10 up against R.A. Dickey.
Said he might have to have the same approach he had in his last at-bat yesterday when he drove a ball into left field. Stay on it just a little bit more. He said he was tired of rolling over pitches and hitting it right into the shift. Yesterday he slowed things down and singled into left field. I think it's the same type of approach you need against R.A. Dickey. You get out there a little bit too quick, that knuckleball's going to go under your bat.
Boy, he threw a hard one there, 79 miles an hour with a late break back toward the plate.
Josh Tolley did a great job of catching that one.
Great call. There's that high knuckleball. Luke Scott becomes the third strikeout victim for R.A. Dickey.
And that is by design, that high knuckleball. Tough to catch up to it. You might be better off just letting it go. You either swing through it or pop it up. That time it drops right at the last second. It's called third strike.
Kelly Johnson, the second baseman, takes a strike. Well, if Dickey gets into a rhythm, it can be a nightmare for the Rays. That one's off the end of the bat. That's going to get down safely in center. Rasmus better get it in quickly, and Kelly Johnson never hesitated. He took advantage of Rasmus just kind of sauntering over and getting that ball on the play. Kelly Johnson saw the play right in front of him and took advantage of it and gets a hustle double.
Yeah, outfielders have to respect the bounce off of the carpet here at Rogers Center on day games. This ball was hit, and you can see Rasmus head over there. If he comes in a little bit quicker, catches it on one hop, he stops Kelly Johnson. I was watching him all the way right here. That's where he's going to make up his mind right there, that he's going to try and go to second base. He saw that Rasmus was laying back on the ball and takes advantage of it.
Of course, Kelly Johnson played here with the Blue Jays, and he understands what this turf is like on day games. When the sun is baking down on the turf, that ball will really bounce off the turf and give you an opportunity.
And you have to respect that. But that ball bounced twice, and Johnson recognized it and gets himself a double.
Matt Joyce playing in right field this afternoon. Joyce started in left field on Friday night, made a fine defensive play on J.P. Arancibia, sliding, making the catch, take a hit away from J.P. Two and 0 to Joyce. So one thing about the knuckleball, you can be throwing strike after strike after strike, and all of a sudden it has a mind of its own, and you can't throw a strike. 3-0. Josh Tolley did a pretty good job of getting leather on that baseball and kept it close to home, and that one was really dancing.
That ball was dancing towards home plate. It really handcuffed Josh. But he does a good job of keeping the glove up. You can see the big, exaggerated first base glove that he's using right there just to try and catch that thing.
Another knuckleball. This one is hit high into right field. Bautista setting up in the alley. Tagging at second is Johnson. Here's the long throw on line, but late. 2 outs.
The all-new, completely re-engineered 2014 Acura MDX, the luxury SUV redefined. Experience it now at your local Acura dealer.
Carlos Delgado commemorative baseball given away to the first 20,000 fans arriving at Rogers Center this afternoon. 2 outs. Kelly Johnson at third base, and obviously he is thinking about a wild pitch. Brett Laurie at third, long throw in time, and Brett Laurie right back at home at third base. Makes a fine defensive play to get R.A. Dickey out of the top half of the second. Laurie, with tremendous instincts and physical talents, throws across his body to Edwin Encarnacion to end the top of the second. July 22nd, Blue Jays take on the LA Dodgers. You can join Carlos Delgado, the Hall of Famer Roberto Alomar, Sean Green, Alex Gonzalez, Jose Cruz, Lloyd Mosby, and other Blue Jays legends for an on-field baseball fantasy camp at Rogers Center. Proceeds from the event benefit the Carlos Delgado Extra Bases Foundation. Learn more about it at bluejays.com/Delgado. The 200-level outfield section has become a popular destination for young fans here at Rogers Center. And boy, oh boy, you talk about a perfect day. Get a chance to visit with a lot of your friends, come out and get a different perspective from center field. Right behind the pitcher's mound.
It's like watching the game on their center field camera, sitting out there in the sea of blue.
Adam Lind takes a first pitch strike from Chris Archer. As we mentioned before, this is the first time the Blue Jays have faced Chris Archer, so everybody's anxious to get a little feel for what they're dealing with. Archer's making his 10th start of the season. He has a 4-3 record with a .296 earned run average. He was originally a 5th-round draft pick of the Cleveland Indians back in 2006. He was sent from Cleveland to the Cubs in 2008. This is hit high in the air into right, but that's going to be playable for Matt Joyce. Boy, you can see he was really battling the sun. And the one thing he did, Pat, was he kept his feet moving just in case he had to make some late adjustments.
Yeah, looked like he wasn't sure if he was going to have to turn and get on the side. As an outfielder, you want to get on the side of that baseball. He's got the sunglasses. He's got the glove up there to try and shield him, but you're right. You watch him turn the body so you can keep moving and try and get on the side of the baseball and track it into your glove.
Boy, once you get anchored and lose that ball in the sun, you've got no chance to find it once again. Melky Cabrera back in the lineup, coming off the disabled list. Cabrera just finished up a rehab assignment in AAA Buffalo. Right back over the mound, and it knocks Chris Archer down as he had to try to get out of the way. That's the first hit for the Blue Jays. Now it's time for our BlackBerry Sneak Peek Stat of the Game, brought to you by the new BlackBerry Z10 and Q10, built to keep you moving.
Every player wants consistency. They don't want the ups and downs of baseball. You want to have an even keel. And right now, Colby Rasmus is kind of a little bit cold after the break. Right before the All-Star break, outstanding. A 464 average. He given us just been a couple of games for Colby. And he is making changes, trying to level off that consistency a little bit. He doesn't want those highs and lows. Some of the things he's doing, he's taking less BP. He's not swinging as much. He's taking days off when he feels like he doesn't need all the extra BP. Because when he was going bad times last year, he'd go down to that batting cage for an hour and hit off the Iron Mike machine and just wear himself out.
And as much as it might have been settling for his mind, physically it was taking his toll.
And he would go into those streaks.
There's a little flare down the left field line. This is trouble. That's a fair ball. Melky Cabrera stops at second. Sam Fuld, the left fielder, made a nice play to get to the ball quickly. He barehanded it and had his eye on Cabrera and forced him to stop at second.
There were a couple things that went right for the Tampa Bay Rays on that play. First of all, Sam Fuld charged the ball very quickly, and then the shortstop, Ben Zobrist, instead of going and chasing after the ball, he went to third base. Melky Cabrera, the play's right in front of him, and he doesn't want to get thrown out at third base. He had thoughts and then put the brakes on once he saw Fuld make the barehand and Zobrist standing at third base. Good team defense right there by the Rays.
Meiser takes one up and away for a ball. Sturis, switch hitter, batting left-handed against Archer. No score. We're in the bottom of the second inning. The Lobaton, the catcher, indicating that Archer got underneath that last pitch. Just to remind the youngster, hey, get your hand out in front.
Yeah, when you get it on top of that baseball, get it behind it. That's how you charge that ball down in the strike zone. You get on the side like that, that ball's going to stay up.
Ground ball. Longoria, and that's all they're going to get. Colby Rasmus makes sure that Kelly Johnson had no chance to make a return throw to first. Once again, Colby Rasmus with that hard slide. He's consistent. Every time he's got a chance to break up two, he is a middle infielder's nightmare.
Yeah. Go after him. That time it looked more like Kelly Johnson was a little bit late getting there. But he's got a reputation around the league that he's going to go in there hard, clean, fair baseball. His job is to break up the double play, and he did it right there.
And Tampa Bay respects that. He kept his spikes down. He just made sure that the second baseman had no chance to make the relay to first. So there are 2 outs now for Josh Thole. Blue Jays have had real problems against Tampa Bay, delivering with runners in scoring position. For the series, they're just 2 for 14 now. Thole hits it high and deep to left field. Fuld on the run. This ball is over his glove. Off the wall. Bounces out of the ballpark. Josh Thole hits a 2-out ground rule double.
The left fielder, Sam Fuld, was playing very shallow for Josh Thole. Thole can juice a ball. And he was playing like he was a Punch and Judy type of hitter. You can see how shallow he is in left field, and he's a dead sprint. Ball actually hits on the warning track and bounces out of play, costing Josh Thole a run, an RBI.
Meiser had come all the way around to score. He has to go back to third base on the ground rule double.
But surprised that he was playing so shallow against Josh Thole.
Well, you know, and we have seen it for years, the Tampa Bay Rays play very aggressive defensively. They overshift a lot of players, and they'll play extreme defense, and that time it may have cost them a run. When Joe Madden and his bench coach, Dave Martinez, they keep a close eye on all the defensive alignments for the ball club.
When a guy throws as hard as Chris Archer. Is there a better chance of a guy getting the bat head out and smoking the ball to the gap, or getting jammed and hitting in front of you?
Getting jammed.
So that's why he was in there.
Exactly. So Tolle drives in the first run of the ball game. That's his third RBI of the season. Now the number 9 hitter, Brett Laurie, with runners at second and third.
Be ready on that first pitch. Runners in scoring position. He was.
Well, might have been upstairs a bit.
But I like him being ready. In an RBI situation, a young guy out on the mound right there. Go for the base knock.
.96, but up and in from Archer. The Rays have won Chris Archer's last 5 starts. Personally, he's 3-0 during those 5 starts, but Tampa Bay has won 5 straight starts with Archer on the mound. A little looper into right field. Joyce broke back, now comes in a couple of steps, and the Blue Jays have broken out on top. Josh Tolle with an RBI double has put the Jays up 1-0.
Brought to you by the all-new, completely re-engineered 2014 Acura MDX, the luxury SUV redefined. Experience it now at your local Acura dealer.
Beautiful afternoon at Rogers Center. That baseball right there being held up by the fan, the Carlos Delgado commemorative baseball that was given away to the first 20,000 fans that came into the ballpark this afternoon. Blue Jays have a 1-0 lead. Josh Tolle putting the Jays out in front. R.A. Dickey set to work to the number 9 hitter, Sam Fuld. Throws a first pitch strike. Fuld is starting for the second time in this series.
Got to shorten up, I think, for Sam Fuld. He can drop a bunt down. It'll be tough against the knuckleball. But any way that you can get on, help your ball club.
This is popped down the right side and well out of play. Fans, if you want your baseball questions answered by our team of experts, email asktheexperts@sportsnet.ca and keep your eye out for the home hardware Ask the Expert segment later on in the game. 1-2 to Sam Fuld. Fly ball into center field. Rasmus ranging back well in front of the warning track. Hauls it in. Fuld's retired, 1 down. R.A. Dickey's had a lot of success against Tampa Bay. Going back to last year, he threw a 1-hit complete game shutout against them. Part of back-to-back shutouts. He shut out the Orioles and Tampa Bay last year, and then this season, back on June 26th, he was almost as good.
Watch the movement as the ball came towards home plate. There's the knuckleball in super slow-mo, and what you're dealing with when you're trying to hit it. The great movement. Today, I think, is a perfect day for R.A. Dickey's knuckleballs. Not too hot. There's a little breeze down on the field. It's bright, making it a little bit tougher for the hitters to pick the ball up. Just has to concentrate, keep the ball in the strike zone. 3 walks his last time out against the Cleveland Indians really didn't help matters.
The Rays have won 7 straight day games, and they haven't lost a day game since R.A. Dickey beat them at Tropicana Field on June 26th, a game he just saw highlights of. And Dickey is in a similar situation today as he was then. Blue Jays lost the first 2 games of that 3-game series, and he shut out the Rays to win the finale. On the ground, Historis waits at second, and Desmond is up. Boy, that's such a key to keep him off the bases. He was on base 4 times yesterday.
That was a season high. 4 times he was on base. He just sets up the whole inning when he's there.
So Dickey will work to Ben Zobrist. Zobrist popped up to the catcher his first time up. Zobrist cues it off the end of the bat. You remember those swings where you'd swing and you weren't sure where the ball was. You knew you hit it, but you weren't sure where it was.
If that's with 2 strikes, you're praying it just hits some part of your bat, too. You know, first strike, you can deal with it.
This is popped up on the infield. Historis, the second baseman, battling the sun. Quick inning for R.E. Dickey. Dickey's retired 5 straight. Blue Jays have a 1-0 lead. It'll be the top of the order. When we come back, it's Reyes, then Bautista and Edwin in Encarnacion. 1-0 Jays. Sportsnet World is a place for quarterfinal action from the CONCACAF Gold Cup. It's the U.S. and El Salvador at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. Great soccer action today on Carlos Delgado Day. Delgado's name was placed on the level of excellence in a ceremony prior to the game, and we'll be happy to have him in the booth this next half inning. You'll get to hear from him and his thoughts about a beautiful ceremony prior to this ball game. Good Jays job. Enjoying a 1-0 lead.
Good job, by the way, on that.
Well, thank you very much. It was a slam dunk.
You were the master of ceremonies there.
Top of the order for the Blue Jays, Reyes, Bautista, and Encarnacion. Blue Jays have a 1-0 lead. Jose Reyes was very complimentary of Carlos Delgado in our conversations before the All-Star break, talking about Delgado's impact on him as a hitter when they were both teammates with the New York Mets.
Still watches him too, doesn't he?
Yeah. Delgado will call Reyes anytime he sees something that he feels needs to be brought to Jose's attention.
Well, so far this year, I'm sure he hasn't had too many phone calls because Reyes has been outstanding. Since he has come back from the disabled list, we haven't seen the 2-3 hit games with the multi-stolen bases. For me, watching him, still not 100% for me, that ankle.
He takes the leadoff walk. A man on, nobody out. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Pittsburgh, of course, enjoying a great start to their season, trying to make sure they avoid any kind of second half swing. They have fallen behind the Cardinals 2 games as they've lost 3 in a row. And as Jamie mentioned, they're trying to avoid the sweep at the hands of the Cincinnati Reds, who are 4 back in the National League Central.
I say no swoon this year by the Pirates. I think they've done that the last couple of years, and they've learned from their previous faults. It's going to be fun.
Reyes at first. Bautista hits it off the end of the bat. Joyce gets there and makes the catch. Looked like an off-speed pitch, and Bautista was out in front.
A little bit easier try right there for Matt Joyce because the ball wasn't hit that high. Got a good read off the bat.
Well, you make a good point about the Pittsburgh Pirates. They have a couple of guys that really can protect them against any kind of late swoon. Mark Melanson, who has been great as a setup man, and then Jason Grilling. He's been the best closer in baseball this year.
If there's any team out there, I think, that's going to get a starting pitcher by the trade deadline, that might be the team. They've got a lot of good young players in their farm system that they can use to acquire a starter.
Edwin Encarnacion. Reyes looks like he wants to run. Not going here. Encarnacion takes a strike.
Boy, he did look like he was ready. It's like a runner who was in the blocks just getting ready to spring and take off.
Reyes is 9 for 10 in steals this year. Once again, a reminder, this is the first time the Jays have seen Chris Archer, so they're not sure about his ability to hold the run. There goes Reyes up and in. Lobaton's throw is a strong throw, but late. Lobaton got a good pitch to throw, an inside fastball that gave him a real good opportunity. He made a strong throw, but Reyes just outran the throw.
A quick throw, too. Look how quickly he comes out firing. Kelly Johnson taking the throw, but watch Reyes get the hand in before he is tagged on the back. Lobaton's now thrown out 6 out of 41 runners. Jay's taking advantage of that speed.
There just aren't many catchers in baseball that are consistent at throwing out base runners. Ball and a strike, 1 out. Encarnacion asked for time. Jim Joyce, the home plate umpire, gave it to him. He had to wait just too long for Archer.
A little undecided. It looked like Archer, if he wanted to deliver the pitch to the plate or do that inside move with that runner at second base. Held the ball just a little bit too long for Edwin.
Home run cut 97 miles an hour. I mean, that's easy cheese right there with pretty good movement.
With good movement going down. And this is where Encarnacion has been so good this year. Runners in scoring position, but a 2-strike approach. I was asked today by some of the Tampa Bay people, why is he so good with 2 strikes after 2 hellacious cuts to get the 2 strikes? They say he shortens his swing down. He's very smart, but he shortens his swing. Yesterday was a perfect example. His double into right field.
Yeah, he had a ball down the right field line for a double on a pitch down and away. This time it's the catcher. Jim Joyce, the umpire, quick to point that out. Lobaton said, wait a minute, I'm not set. So he wants to give another series of signs.
Got a great breaking ball. Archer does for strikeouts.
Archer certainly rattled by Reyes at second base, and now Kelly Johnson is going to come in and say, hey, just make up your mind to go one way or the other. Remember, in yesterday's game, Jeremy Hellickson committed a balk, and it proved to be costly as that balk would come around to score. So the veteran Johnson comes in and tries to help the 24-year-old rookie handle this situation.
Reyes got a little bit larger lead at second base, I think, with 2 strikes, anticipating a breaking ball, maybe a ball in the dirt. So he got both feet on the turf. And Archer picked up on that and has held the ball.
There's the ball in the dirt, just what you were talking about with 2 strikes, trying to get the strikeout.
Go for the punch out, so you hold on to that breaking ball just a little bit longer. Just make a pitch. The guy he should be worried about right there standing at the plate.
Yeah. He's got 26 home runs. Reyes can take 1 base. Encarnacion can take 4. He gets jammed, fights it off inside second. Well, you're right. We saw that early on in this series. On Friday night with Reyes at first base, David Price was really occupied keeping Reyes close. Jose eventually stole second base, but Bautista then hit a 2-run home run. Reyes' attention was divided between Reyes and Bautista.
How about the 9th inning yesterday? Bautista stealing third base, and then Edwin second.
Ground ball. Easy hop for Zobrist. Takes his time. Encarnacion is retired. 2 down. Reyes still at second, his 10th steal of the season. And now there are 2 outs, and then we'll have to deliver a clutch hit with 2 outs. You mentioned the Rays and how well they're prepared. I mean, this is truly a team. You saw Kelly Johnson come in and try to help Chris Archer with Reyes being a distraction at second. You mentioned earlier Zobrist covering third base on the fly ball down the left field line. They communicate well.
Yeah, they play great team defense. And it's just like in basketball when you have 5 guys that have to be talking all the time, being aware of where everybody is. You have to do the same thing on a baseball field. Hey, I'm shifted over here. This guy's more of a pull hitter. Be aware of that if you're the first baseman.
And you also pay attention to counts and pitches and the batters. I mean, you mentioned it on the 1-2 pitch. Archer's probably going to throw a breaking ball. So on defense, you know, chances are that slower pitch is going to be pulled.
And you take a step to your left or your right, depending on the type of batter it is, and you let the guy next to you know what you're doing.
There's a strike. 2 balls and a strike. Blue Jays have a 1-0 lead. James Loney is one of the real anchors defensively, and this team has turned it around.
He'll get a sign from Kelly Johnson there at second base. If Johnson looks in and sees a breaking ball, he'll alert Loney that an off-speed pitch is coming.
Another hard breaking ball, and then swings right through it. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bottom of the 3rd inning. Second time through the order for the Blue Jays. They've got a little bit more information in their second at-bats. Just haven't seen Chris Archer before. Well, he can reach back for a little extra. And he's not a big guy. He's got a terrific build for a pitcher. Melky Cabrera has singled already. He's on deck.
You know what he has? He's got a quick arm. And that's where you generate that fastball at 97.
He was a quarterback in high school and was the conference player of the year in his high school conference as a senior. And he comes back and strikes out Lynn. The Blue Jays strand another base runner. They've left 3 so far, but have a 1-0 lead against Tampa Bay. And he is the franchise leader in all these categories: runs, doubles, home runs, RBIs, total bases, and OPS. A phenomenal career that was recognized by his name being elevated to the level of excellence. We're pleased to be joined by Carlos in the booth. Carlos, tell us about your emotions today, as you had a lot of former teammates, a lot of family and friends in attendance for this great day.
You know, Buck, it was a great day. I've been thinking about this for a long time, what it was going to be like, what I was going to say. But when you step out there, it's different. And I can't tell you how honored and privileged I am to have my name mentioned with those guys in the level of excellence. And having a day like this in front of the Toronto fans that over the years they have supported me, good times and bad times. I mean, it wasn't always great. And having some of my ex-teammates here that we have come up since the minor league system and stepping out on the field, it was very, very nice. And this is one of the moments that I will always remember from in my life and in my baseball career.
I thought it was really fitting that Jose Cruz Jr., Sean Green, Alex Gonzalez were all here, and you, Sean Green, and Alex Gonzalez grew up together in the Blue Jays system.
Yeah, we go back a long way. Speaking about Blue Jays system, when we're lining up listening to the national anthem, I think it was Alex say something like, wow, this reminds me of the days in Knoxville, Tennessee, when we were in AA. We were out there listening to the anthem. So I guess, 20-some years later, we're in Toronto enjoying a great day.
Well, what does it mean to have Pat Gillick here, the guy who drafted you, signed you, got you here into this organization? And talk a little bit about what it was like back in the day coming up through the farm system.
Well, you know what? It was great to see Mr. Gillick, and it was great to see Beeson, because those are the people that gave me an opportunity, you know what I mean? It was Gillick and Epi Guerrero that actually signed me. And like I said when I was down there, I'm grateful for the opportunity, and I'm grateful for the patient. This is the guy that switched positions 4 times within a year and a half. So they kind of stuck with me. I tried to do my part. I went out and worked hard and did what I needed to do, and came back and had an opportunity to play.
Evan Longoria rides one to right field that sails out of the ballpark. His second home run of the series, his 20th home run of the season. And he has tied this game up at 1-all. Boy, when you square up that knuckleball, Pat, it will fly out of the ballpark.
Yeah, especially if you hit it down the lines here at Rogers Center. Low trajectory by Longoria, and then out of the ballpark. Didn't look like a knuckleball.
Might have been a fastball, you're right.
Longoria
didn't get fooled.
Okay, Carlos, so you say, well, they stuck with me through 4 position changes. They stuck with you because you could hit, my man.
Well, I told you, I did my part.
473 career home runs. 473 career home runs. 1,500, over 1,500 RBIs. That's all Hall of Fame type of stats for me.
Let's hope so.
Have you thought about that?
You know what? I'm not going to lie to you. I do think about it, but that's one of the things that is completely out of my control. Your faith or whatever it is, your entrance to the Hall of Fame is in the hands of, 700 guys that get to vote. The way I look at it is I play hard. I wanted to do the best I could on the field. I prepared myself to have some good numbers and help my team win. I can't get a hit anymore. I can't hit another home run. So we'll see in a couple years.
Do you know that you are one of 59 players in the history of the game to hit one season 340 home runs and over 140 RBIs?
I did not know that.
You know it now.
Oh, no.
That's pretty impressive.
I don't think I was a 300 hitter, but I took a lot of pride in RBIs. I like RBIs more than home runs. People talk about home runs, but yeah, that's cool. Even in a great season, you have 40, 42, 44 home runs, but then RBIs, you had chances to make your team win a game. That little RBI, running on third, less 2 out. That big RBI, we run in second, 2 out. So I took a lot of pride into getting those RBIs and try to help the team automatically score a run.
Wow, what a catch by Colbert Rasmus to end the inning. A determined catch for sure. We're going to keep Carlos Delgado for another half inning and continue this discussion. The Rays have tied it up, maybe more if Rasmus doesn't run down this ball just shy of the fence in right. Great catch by the Blue Jays center fielder. To the level of excellence, and here's some of the highlights of his outstanding career. He led the American League with 57 doubles in 2000. Second for the AL MVP in 2003. Led the major leagues with 145 RBIs, and that's, Carlos, what you talked about, the pride aspect of pushing across the run.
Exactly. Yeah, it was I wanted that to be a big part of my game. You know, when I left for spring training, I was thinking 100 RBIs. That was my goal. Everything else, I guess I try to figure it out, but I say let me drive somebody in.
Let me ask you this. You mentioned the 4 position changes. Obviously, you were a catcher through the minor league systems, minor league player of the year as a catcher. How challenging was that for you? And were there times when you had doubts about what you might end up be doing on the field?
Yeah, definitely, especially when I was out there in left field. You know, I look around and I felt like I was in a lonely island. But you know what? I got to be grateful to Deron White. He helped me out. I remember that year, 1994. He helped me out. Then I came back. I DH a little bit. I mean, I was really young. I was 22 years old, and I was DHing, and I was hoping that I wouldn't get labeled at DH. So, and then playing first base, that was like going to school for the first time. So, but like I said, I'm happy they kind of stuck with me. I went down to AAA. I worked on my game and had the opportunity to come here. I learned the position, and still, I mean, I think it was a good thing. It gave me an opportunity to get more at bats as a first baseman than a catcher. Save my body a little bit, save my knees. So, not complaining here.
In your speech, you talked about it wasn't all, quote, peaches and cream, which is so fitting for baseball if you're in it, because it's not glamorous. Talk about the time you hit 8 home runs, 7 or 8 home runs in a month or something like that in 1994, and they sent you down.
Yeah.
What was that? I ran into you in the airport, and you looked so bad. You looked so down. And I said, let's talk about what this means for baseball.
Well, Rasmus just missed a home run.
After the 8 home runs, there were a couple 1 for 30. That's the reason why they sent me down. They didn't send me down because I hit 8 home runs. I struggled badly, and then at the beginning of June they sent me down. And you know, I obviously was a little down going to AAA. I was living a dream. You know, I come to Toronto, opening day roster, got off to a good start. Then all of a sudden things went sour. So when I got to Syracuse, I was a little upset. I was a little sad. I understood. I mean, I wasn't producing, but I told myself, you know what? I'm not gonna feel sorry for myself. I wanna come back. I wanna come back to the big leagues, and the only way to get back to the big leagues is working and getting your work done, getting your hit, So that's what I did. You know, when you're in Toronto, I don't know if many people see Syracuse, you want to get out of there, especially over MacArthur Stadium, and get back to Toronto. So that's what I try to do.
It was 460 to center field or something like that.
Something like that, yeah, exactly.
But it says something about your attitude as a player, that you went down there and you're determined to get back.
Well, you know, it is half of the battle sometimes. It's a grueling schedule. You're out there for 162 games, spring training. It gets hot in August, so you know you got to have the positive attitude. You got to have you got to pump yourself up, because physically we know how to play. It's about the challenges that you're going to face mentally when you're not struggling. Everybody's asking you the questions. Are you going to be able to play? Are you not going to be able to play? The media. So, you know, sometimes you're a little banged up. Do I play? I don't play. You know what? Sometimes you just got to suck it up a bit and go out and play. But, you know, that mentality, it definitely helps. You got to have trust in yourself even when things are not going so great for you. So that was my approach. I try to have a good time, enjoy the game, and, you know, deal with that adversity.
You're still having an impact on the game today. Jose Reyes has told us many times about your influence with Reyes as a hitter when you were together in New York. Talk about Reyes and what you have seen over the years in his development as becoming a true batting champ.
Well, you know what? This kid is got so much talent. It's unbelievable. I remember the first time I saw Reyes, you always see him running so fast that you think he's a little guy. But he's not a little guy. He's strong. He's like 6'1". So he's got a chance to do a lot of things on the field. So we got pretty close in New York. And I always told him, I say, you can't go 100 miles an hour all the time. Sometimes you got to slow yourself down, especially when you're hitting. You got to be able to see the ball, because, you know, now you're young. You're 25. You got all the talent in the world. But when you start getting a little older, you might not have all that speed, all that bat speed. So you have to learn the game. So we develop a great relationship, and I enjoy. I'm a big fan of Jose Reyes. I love to watch him play. Sometimes I wonder how he does what he does, but you know, this kid he can make tremendous impact on a ball club, and I'm happy he's back and people in Toronto can get to see him.
What great advice, slowing the game down.
Slow the game down. And there are a few other candidates to have the game slowed down around here, too.
So I hear.
Another day.
So I hear.
But it is truly, and Reyes is very, very appreciative of all the information. He says you will call him from time to time if you see something out of whack.
If I see him on TV, I'll text him and say something. The only part I don't like, he keeps calling me like a big brother. I'm not that big. I'm not much older than him.
Carlos Delgado, congratulations. It's a great day. Thanks for your
for having Pat.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much,
day, buddy.
It's a 1-1 game as we head to the fifth, and now it's time for Blue Jays Central Update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn in the Blackberry Broadcast Studio. Zone are fans from the Children's Health Foundation. Welcome to the ballpark, and it's a gorgeous day for a ball game. And over in the Jays Care Community Clubhouse, we welcome guests from Easter Seal Society of Canada. Welcome to the ballpark, and you've got a whale of a game going. It's a 1-1 ball game as we head to the top half of the 5th inning. 21 degrees. At the start of play this afternoon, and the roof has been wide open. It is a spectacular day. Low humidity today. Boy, It's cooled off nicely.
They picked a great day to come to the ballpark. This pitching matchup has been sensational. Carlos Delgado, level of excellence day, and the weather's cooperating.
Matt Joyce takes one just off the plate inside. We talk about the challenges of catching a knuckleball, also that of hitting a knuckleball. But also you have to feel for Jim Joyce a little bit too, the home plate umpire. He's got to make quick decisions on balls and strikes with that knuckleball dancing all over the place.
And he's got to stay with it a long time. A pitch that's making its way towards the plate might look like a ball and then all of a sudden drop right into the strike zone. Watch Jim Joyce really get down right over the shoulder of Josh Tolley and stick his nose right in there. I mean, that's a good umpire right there. Jimmy Joyce, crew chief with these people. Watch him just stick that face in there.
There's a little liner that's going to sneak through and go into center field for Matt Joyce. Leadoff single here in the 5th.
Come find out why more Canadians trust Mr. Lube's trained technicians with their oil changes than any other quick lube. We're number one for a reason. Take good care.
Tampa Bay Rays trying to sweep this 3-game series. They've won 7 straight series. They're 7-0-1 in their last 8 series. They haven't lost a series since June 18th and 19th at Boston.
How about Jose Lobaton now batting? He's a switch hitter. First time up, he grounded out with a runner at third base, batting right-handed. Now, with a runner at first base, he comes up there left-handed.
Hit and run is on, and Lobaton fouls it off. That might have had something to do with it.
Yep.
A little more contact from the left side, so he goes up and says, okay, you want me to hit and run? I'm going to hit as a lefty this time.
I'm going to keep an eye on him next time he is on the on-deck circle if he's got 2 helmets. If a guy gets on, maybe he wants to hit left-handed to pull a ball through that hole on the right side. Ben Zobrist has done that a couple of times. Right-handed the last time you saw R.A. Dickey, left-handed this afternoon.
Lobaton's average, they're about the same either side of the plate. 0-2. Upstairs.
Tell you one thing that Lobaton is doing, he is right on top of the plate. And we used to devise a game plan against Charlie Huff about getting on top of the plate. A knuckleball pitcher back in the day. Get on top of that plate, it's tough for him to get that ball in that strike zone.
Dickey strikes out Lobaton. For Dickey, that's his first strikeout since the second. He now has 4.
R.A. Dickey doesn't put those fingernails on the seams. He's got it on the baseball, creating that non-spin action as it makes its way to the plate. It's always fun to watch that right there. How he's able to keep that ball from moving.
It's fun from here, not fun from home plate.
No.
If you're trying to hit it or catch it. Sam Fuld, the left fielder. Joyce will run. Doesn't run a lot, but he runs effectively. He is 6 for 7 in steal attempts this year.
You see that a lot with the Tampa Bay Rays. They've got a great steal percentage.
There's a base hit through the right side. Bautista charges it quickly, and Joyce will stop right there at second. 2 on, 1 out. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Jamie, that's great news. No Zach Greinke, no Clayton Kershaw. The Dodgers will be in town tomorrow night to start a 3-game series. Matt Kemp just activated off the disabled list this afternoon, and he is really making his presence felt. 2 for 2 so far. That ball gets away from Tolley, and that's going to get the Tampa Bay Rays out of the double play situation.
Dodgers making their way towards first place. They start today a half a game behind Arizona. That's who the Blue Jays get to play tomorrow. Followed by Houston, then it's out on the road. A big West Coast road trip for the Toronto, Oakland, LA for 4, and then Seattle.
Oakland and LA, they'll be facing those teams for the first time. They've seen the Mariners earlier in the season here at Rogers Center. Desmond Jennings at the plate. It was a pass ball charge to Tolley that allowed the runners to move up. Joyce at third, Fold at second. Both good base runners.
Corners are in for the Blue Jays. Cut off that run. They'll give up a run on a ground ball to the middle of the diamond.
Fouled over the screen and out of play. This Tampa Bay club, you look at him and you say, okay, there's nobody really having huge offensive numbers. But 1 through 9, they have good at-bats. It seems as though they all get together and say, okay, we've got to grind at-bats.
They really work well together as a team. There's enough speed in the lineup, some switch hitters, some lefties, righties. There's a little clout, some power. It's good balance. Derek Shelton does a good job with this team. He is the hitting coach for the Rays. They do a good job. There he is right there, studying R.A. Dickey.
2-2. Cut on and missed. Jennings strikes out. Big strikeout for Dickey. Second out of the inning. Fans, you can see Canada's top athletes like you've never seen them before. It's Sportsnet Magazine as it presents the beauty of sports. Visit sportsnet.ca/the beauty of sport. Great cover available now at your newsstand, so make sure you pick it up. Sportsnet Magazine. 2 outs. Here's where Josh Tolley really has to fight. Tensing up. You just can't fight that knuckleball now with a runner just 90 feet away at third.
If it's moving, and this afternoon the ball is really moving for R.A. Dickey, just get some piece of your body in front of that ball. If you see it's going to be a wild pitch, there's a big run down there at third base. Dickey has to go with his best pitch, and that's the hard knuckleball. You just have to just keep it in front of you.
1-1 pitch. The appeal denied down at third base. David Rockley said no swing from Zobrist.
Zobrist been a good RBI man.
We've seen that called a swing before.
Yeah. Seen less than that called a swing.
2 balls and a strike. You see Tolley, as he gets set to receive that knuckleball from Dickey, how he really relaxes his glove, trying to take all the tension out of his arm and allow himself really to be able to react to wherever that ball moves.
Rest it right on your knee. See that? Whoa. Thank you.
Back to even.
Okay.
But that's the aspect we talk about with a knuckleball. It is in the zone, then it's not.
Yep.
Full count, 2 outs. 2 on. Cut on and missed. R.A. Dickey strikes out the side and leaves a pair in the 5th. Dickey's 6th strikeout strands a pair. It's still a 1-1 game. and third base. He had a couple of tough games, the last 2 games in this series, and John Gibbons has decided to push him back to third, at least for the short term.
This is a ball that came up on him and he just couldn't turn the double play as he threw it away. 6 errors now. And it's hard for a young player to ping-pong back and forth between third base and second base. I did it. I know how it is. It's a little bit easier for established guys who've been around like a Mice or a Sturridge. But for a young player, it's tough to do that, especially going from the left side of the infield to the right side of the infield. He can do it. He's a good athlete. And John Gibbons told us today, he said, you know, I said he was going to play both. So today he's at third base. Made a nice play earlier.
Well, the guy on the field that does it more than anybody in this ballpark is Ben Zobrist. He goes from second to short to right, and he does it seamlessly. But Zobrist is 32 years old. He's an established veteran, and he's been used to this role for a long time.
That's what I mean. It's a little bit easier for a guy who's been in the big leagues for a while. He's established himself as an all-star, and he can do it. But Brett is an exceptional athlete, and he will do whatever the team needs him to do.
Hits it right to the third baseman, Evan Longoria, and Laurie is the first out of the bottom of the 5th.
Well, you can't guide it over there. This is about the 4th time in this series that a Blue Jay has hit a rocket right at Evan Longoria for an out.
Well, we mentioned the Rays and how well they set up their defense. They do a great job of scouting, and Joe Madden is not shy about being aggressive with his defensive alignment.
Just keep swinging the bat. They will fall in.
Chris Archer in a 1-1 ball game. The hits are even at 4 apiece. Now the Blue Jays have an advantage. Reyes slaps one fair inside the bag. Fold gets over quickly. Boy, you talk about good defense. He got that ball back in a hurry.
The all-new, completely re-engineered 2014 Acura MDX, the luxury SUV redefined. Experience it now at your local Acura dealer.
1 out, 1 on for Jose Bautista in a 1-1 game. There's a young Blue Jays fan all decked out here on this gorgeous afternoon. The #1 Blue Jay fan for sure. Bautista's 0 for 2 so far. That's the best defense against the stolen base is strike one.
Strike one. Go right after him with a fastball. Reyes already has 1 stolen base this afternoon. Now when you're ahead strike one, you can do a few things. You can throw over if you want. You can try and pitch out.
Well, it just eliminates the multiple pitches that Reyes will have a chance to run on. And Reyes, you can bet he's watching the count too. He understands 1-1, probably going to be a breaking ball. Might be a better pitch to run on. Archer ahead 0-2. Jose Lobaton behind the plate for the first time in this series. He and Jose Molina have literally split the work behind the dish.
Another throw over. They did that to perfection yesterday against Rajay Davis, where they held the ball for a long time, threw over, got the ball back, held the ball. He guessed that they were going to go home, and they threw back over to first base and picked him off. Looks like they're going to incorporate the same thing.
Oh, he hit Reyes, and he is hurt. Reyes diving back into first base.
You could hear that ball hit him. Not real sure where it got him, in the ribs or in the elbow.
I think it got him in the protective cup. And I think that's why he is bent over in a lot of pain. He dove back in trying to meet the throw to first. It was offline. Loney never got a glove on it. So it hit Reyes on the fly.
Two throws over. This one a little bit harder from Archer. And you're right.
George Poulos, there's not much he can do other than try to comfort Reyes, but you just got to let that thing calm down, and it was something that you can hear. Having been a catcher for so many years, I know exactly how that feels. Get those foul tips that skip off the dirt off home plate.
Never seen it over at first base.
No, that's the first time I've ever seen that. Oftentimes, guys will get hit in the ribs when the first baseman can't catch it. The ball hits you as you're sliding back in. And
that was my first thought when I saw that, or his elbow that was extended going over toward the bag. And you're right, Loney had no chance at trying to catch that one. He said, next time, catch it.
Yeah, would you please catch it? Keep it off of me. So now back to Bautista. He's behind 0-2. Reyes with the single at first base. Bautista fights it off. It was up and in, and it is a fly ball to right. That ball really ran up and in on Bautista, and he tried to check his swing halfway, but it flies out to right. Good crowd on hand at Rogers Center. There have been a lot of fans here all weekend long. Friday night, 32,000 on hand. Saturday afternoon, almost 43,000. And looks like another crowd up around 40,000 this afternoon. Edwin Encarnacion goes after the first pitch and fouls it into the upper deck.
It has been, the fans have done a great job coming out and supporting the Blue Jays. I mean, it's a fun place.
I tell you what, this city and this country are primed for a championship ball club again. Grounded to short. Zobrist with the backhand bobbles it, but still has time to stick with it and throw out Encarnacion at first. We'll head to the 6th, and here comes the Home Hardware Cleanup Crew, brought to you by Natura, Home Hardware's exclusive line of safe, environmentally friendly cleaning products. 28th when the Blue Jays take on the Houston Astros. The game starts at 1:07 p.m. The first 20,000 fans in the Rogers Center will receive a Mr. Sub cooler bag. Call Blue Jays for tickets at 416-341-1234. Log on to BlueJays.com or stop by most Rogers Plus locations. Mr. Sub Cooler Bag Day, July 28th. 1-1 ball game, and Evan Longoria tied it up with an opposite field home run in the fourth, his 20th home run of the season.
Looked like it might have been a fastball, like a get-me-over fastball from R.A. Dickey. That might be the last one Longoria sees from R.A.
Longoria's second home run in the series. He homered in the series opener on Friday night. Lit off home run in the sixth off Ismael Rogers. Well, Longoria waited as long as he could trying to catch that knuckleball, but he swings right through it.
He can do that because he's so relaxed at the plate and he's got a short swing that he can track the ball a long time before he goes out to get it.
Describe what a short swing is.
Shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. So you take the barrel of the bat on a straight line towards the baseball. And that's probably the best way to describe it, how you have to stay short. You don't want a loop in your swing where you end up going around the baseball and you start pulling the ball foul. Best way to do it, keep your hands inside the baseball. That'll create that straight line to the baseball.
And that little extra time you have will allow you to wait longer.
You know, and we've had this discussion before about all good hitters can get jammed because they wait for so long, and they're trying to get plate coverage with 2 strikes.
Jim Joyce immediately called foul tip. Totally reacted as if he wasn't sure it was a foul ball. He just had to make sure that once he felt it go off his glove, he got on it quickly and tagged Longoria.
Look at that knuckleball. No movement. But he tipped that barely.
Ball barely moved, but it looked as though he did get a piece of it. Full count. Longoria strikes out. For Dickey, that's 3 strikeouts in a row, 7 on the afternoon.
And a big first out here in the 6th inning. Knuckleball that time, you can see it's got side spin on it. Going down. And R.A. can do that. He can make the ball do different things with that knuckleball.
A couple days ago when he threw his side session, Jack Morris was watching him throw it in the bullpen, and he said, man, if he takes that knuckleball into the game, he will be tough, and that's exactly what he's done. He's been able to manipulate that knuckleball to break down and away and down and in.
You know, and people were wondering, well, why didn't R.A. Dickey start game 1 after the All-Star break? They had the 4 days off, and he didn't pitch. In Baltimore, he wanted that side session. He wanted to go out there and get a side session in before he made his first start in the second half. And judging by the way he is throwing this afternoon, it's worked.
James Loney has a base hit to the right side of the infield. Loney's first hit. Boy, that was a heads-up play by Bautista. Loney had cruised around the bag, and Encarnacion stayed close to home, and they made a play on Loney, but he snuck his hand back on the bag before.
What a wonderful play. That's a set play, too. You can see Encarnacion just kind of decoy the runner a little bit like nothing's happening. Jose probably told him an inning or two ago, hey, if Loney comes up, gets a base hit, be ready. I might be ready to fire one into it. Loney looked like he might have jammed up his shoulder a little bit.
Luke Scott. Luke Scott's had no fun facing R.A. Dickey. He's 0 for 2 this afternoon. He's 0 for 12 for his career against the knuckleballer. And he'll tell you, it's not a lot of fun.
Stats tell you that, right?
1 out, Loney at first. Foul back. Okay, Luke Scott's thinking, okay, I'm getting closer. I hit it.
Yeah, he's a good hitter.
Oh, he's a terrific guy, too. He really loves to play baseball, loves to study baseball. Keeps a book, a very detailed little notebook on all the pitchers he's faced and how they attack him.
Says he's feeling a little bit better than when we saw him on Friday, battling a little bit of a flu-like symptom.
And now you got to believe that R.A. Dickey's going to throw him that real hard knuckleball. He's in a swing mode right now.
Up, throw it up, let her high. Yeah, it looks so inviting as a hitter, that let her high pitch. You feel like you can cream it, knock it out of the ballpark.
Right, you see it so well because it's up around your eyes. This one's fouled over the Blue Jays dugout, well out of play. R.A. Dickey, for his career, 3-2 record. This is his 7th career start against Tampa Bay. 3-2 in 10 appearances prior to this game. This year, he has beaten them twice. This is his 4th start against Tampa Bay. Another 0-2 pitch to Luke Scott. Up and away. Dickey has 7 strikeouts so far this afternoon. His season high is 10. It came back on the 14th of May against the Giants right here at Rogers Center.
He's had a couple of 7 strikeouts. In fact, 4 of them now with the 7 punch outs this afternoon.
Three and 2, full count. Last year, Dickey had 2 13 strikeout games. He had 7 double-digit strikeout games while pitching for the Mets. One of those big strikeout games was a 12 strikeout effort against Tampa Bay. Mentioned his one hitter last year in June. Quite an array of pitches to Luke Scott. Number 9 will come up. A 9 pitch at bat. And he is battling hard against Dickey. Kelly Johnson is on deck.
He's shortened his swing a little bit now. Since he fell behind 0-2, it's not as long.
It's his high and deep to right. Bautista turns and watches it sail into the seats. 2-run home run for Luke Scott. His first career hit against R.A. Dickey is a 2-run home run.
You know, go back to that at bat right there by Scott. The first 2 pitches were strikes, and he was swinging a little bit too hard. Head pulled off just a little bit, found himself 0-2. Then shortened things up just a little bit, shortened up his swing, fouled off a bunch of those pitches. You can see that he was starting to get locked in and starting to feel good. And you can hear somebody say they're great at bat, and it was a great at bat. Look how short that swing is. And he finishes it off with the home run.
And another high fly to right. Kelly Johnson has gone back to back. His 15th home run of the season.
fourth time that the Rays have gone back-to-back this season.
Second time Kelly Johnson has hit the second of 2 back-to-back home runs, and he connects against Dickey. So a 3-run inning for Tampa Bay here in the 6th. Matt Joyce, the batter, has singled in 2 trips. Boy, Tampa Bay, they had a 4-homer game on Friday night. 3 home runs here Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, we've been harping on that this whole series, that this team's got some pop, some power.
They've now hit 113 home runs. Sound like Joyce got jammed, and Encarnacion will go to the bag. That's the second out of the inning.
You could win a trip to Alcatraz. Look in specially marked cases of Sleeman. No purchase necessary. Legal drinking age required.
Tampa Bay has taken a 4-1 lead. Jose Lobaton, the switch-hitting catcher, has gone 0 for 2. Struck out his last time up. Give you the idea of the home run perspective for Tampa Bay. Baltimore leads the American League with 134. The Blue Jays are second. They've hit 121. Seattle has 119, and that's a surprise. And then you can put the Rays right there with them. Lobaton strikes out, but the Rays broke through against R.A. Dickey. Back-to-back home runs by Luke Scott and Kelly Johnson. Tampa Bay has a 4-1 lead. Optical transitions lenses automatically filter just the right amount of light to enhance everything you see. Today we're going to talk about Will Myers, the 22-year-old right fielder. He's not in the lineup today, but you can see he was born in Thomasville, North Carolina. He was the 3rd-round pick of the Kansas City Royals. He was acquired in a trade by Tampa Bay. He and Jake Odorizzi and Mike Montgomery, 3 young players, came to Tampa Bay in exchange for Wade Davis and James Shields. He had a home run in his first at-bat at Yankee Stadium off C.C. Sabathia.
Yeah, grand slam. 6'3", 190. He's going to be a good player. He's just scratching the surface at just 22 years old. He was Baseball America's Player of the Year last year when he hit 37 home runs. And he looks like he's going to be a star player for Tampa Bay.
The Rays are 21-8 since Will Myers was called up from the minor leagues. They put him right into the lineup every day. He's not playing today because he's swinging the bat so well, and I'm sure Joe Madden said, you know what, let's give the kid the day off because we don't want him to get frustrated by that knuckleball. Lynn gets hit by the pitch, and he'll go to first base. That's the way the 6th inning starts. That's the last thing Chris Archer wanted to do after his club had staked him to a 4-1 lead.
Yeah, let that first guy get on, but he wanted to go fastball in, and this one just gets away from him. Adam Lynn does a good job of turning away from that ball. So he can, if he's going to get hit, gets hit on the big muscles of his back.
Oftentimes hitters will turn into that and expose their hands to that baseball, and when that happens, chances are you're going to get a fractured hand, maybe a broken finger. Curtis Granderson's still out with a broken pinky finger. Just never know.
Watch this ball up and in. Turn your back to that ball. You turn your face out of the way so you don't get hit in the face. Biggest muscles in your body are in your back right there.
Nobody was better at that than Don Baylor. Baylor was a big guy who got hit a lot. He stood right on top of the plate. But boy, when he took an inside pitch, he turned his back to that ball. Really never had any problems.
He was a piece of iron at the plate. And I would see him get hit. I mean, he never wore the long sleeves, right? He always had those muscles showing in his arm. He'd just turn a little bit, and it was like a hit, you know, the brick wall outside, and just bounce away, and he'd go down to first base. Thank goodness he was a good guy.
Well, one day in Oakland, he chose to go to the mound. Dennis Leonard hit him right in the middle of the back, and he took off for the mound. I grabbed him.
Were you catching?
Yeah.
Nice.
Didn't slow him down a bit.
I was going to say, did you catch him?
No, I grabbed him right away. He took Bill Haller and me to the mound with him. Melky Cabrera with a 2-0 count. Fouls it into the glove of the catcher. Boy, Jim Hickey, he stays right on top of his pitchers, doesn't he? Anytime anything goes a bit awry, he comes right out to the mound, tries to help his pitchers regroup.
We had that great shot of him on Friday night when David Price was pitching, sitting with Chris Archer and going over the scouting reports for all of these hitters on Sunday. And it has worked for him.
That breaking ball in there for a strike. We have seen Archer do this in the past. 3-1 count. Fastball count. He'll drop that breaking ball for a strike. And look at Jim Hickey nodding in appreciation for his young right-hander making that adjustment. Full count, nobody out. Ball four. First two reach here in the 6th, and that's going to get the Rays bullpen working. Lind hit by a pitch. Cabrera takes the walk. Yeah, that's just what the Blue Jays wanted in their half of the 6th after giving up 3 in the top half of the inning.
Come right back. Get those first two guys on. They haven't hit the ball yet. Take advantage of it. They couldn't take advantage of it yesterday when the Rays loaded the bases on walks.
8th inning. 3 consecutive walks, and the Blue Jays couldn't take advantage of it. Bases loaded in that 8th inning. Nobody out. It was a 4-2 game, and the Blue Jays couldn't cash a run. Colby Erasmus falls behind 0-1.
Jamie Wright, the veteran, is now up in the bullpen. As soon as Adam Lynn was hit, he got up and started getting loose.
This is popped up and playable. Longoria drifting into foul ground. Infield fly was in effect. Rasmus is retired. That's the first out. Blue Jays just haven't been able to come up with the clutch hit. They were 0 for 8 yesterday in the 4-3 loss. Just 2 for 4 on Friday night, but they've had opportunities to score runs in this series and haven't been able to capitalize.
Yeah, plenty of guys on base. You know, you got to credit the pitcher Price did a good job, and then Hellickson in the bullpen yesterday. Jays left 10 runners on base yesterday, 6 on Friday.
Asturias goes after the first pitch. Sam Fuld into foul ground, and Asturias is an easy out. 2 down. It's been frustrating for John Gibbons. He's had plenty of opportunities offensively to score more runs, and they just haven't been able to kick the door in.
Yeah, he has talked about that. He talked about it after yesterday's game. He said, we've got guys on base, just have not been able to come up with a hit. At times they'll hit it hard, but right at somebody.
Josh Tolley has the only RBI of the afternoon today.
I think it all starts with a good approach. You have to have a good approach at the plate, and you have to think about the whole field. We have seen it constantly in this series by the Ray batters with runners in scoring position coming up with good at-bats. Not trying to do too much.
The Rays are 19-4 in their last 23 games. When you play at that pace, executing fundamentally is easily recognized. You can see the impact of moving a runner up. You can see the impact of a 2-strike approach. Sean Rodriguez on Friday night, an 0-2 bunt. Got the ball down and moved the runners up, and he would contribute to that Rays rally. But when you're winning like that, it's easy to do the little things and sacrifice your own at-bats.
You want to come to the ballpark and say, okay, how can I help my team today win a ball game? I had this discussion very quickly today with Luke Scott about winning and pitching and defense. He said, if you have that foundation of pitching and defense, you're going to be in every game. You'll figure out a way to score some runs. And then you'll do all those little things like you were talking about.
3-1. Bases are loaded. Tolley takes the walk. So again, the Blue Jays have loaded the bases without benefit of a hit. A hit batter in 2 walks.
And it looked like Archer, who has great stuff, now that he has the lead, he's trying not to make a mistake because he has the lead. And you know what happens when you do that? You play defensive and you start walking the ballpark.
It's an interesting decision for Madden. He's got Jamie Wright ready in the bullpen. Do you allow your 24-year-old pitcher to work his way out of this jam? The bases are loaded. Rays have a 4-1 lead. Are you thinking about the big picture?
Yeah, think of the big picture. Remember, Brett Laurie hit a line drive right at Longoria last time out. He's thinking about matchup. He must like this matchup better. And he's thinking about his young pitcher. Figure out a way.
It would be so easy to call the bullpen and say, okay, Jamie Wright, it's your job. You're the veteran. Get this kid out of it. But I think Madden sees more value in allowing Chris Archer to work his own way out of it. Popped it up. Archer should get out of it. Kelly Johnson, the second baseman, waits for it, and the Blue Jays again strand the bases loaded. They left the bases loaded in the 8th. Yesterday, they've done it here in the 6th. Tampa Bay has a 4-1 lead. July 26th when the Blue Jays take on the Houston Astros. The game starts at 7:07 p.m. Come on down to Rogers Center early and check out the pregame festivities happening outside of Gate 10. You can win great prizes, enjoy the live music, and there's a licensed area. Gates open at 4:30 p.m. Call the Blue Jays at 416-341-1234 to pick up your tickets. You can always log on to BlueJays.com to order your Blue Jays ticket for Summer Fan Friday festivals, or stop by most Rogers Plus locations. Friday, July 26th, the Houston Astros in town. New pitcher for the Blue Jays will be the left-handed reliever, Juan Perez, on in relief of R.A. Dickey.
Our first look at Juan Perez here in the second half. It's been 9 days since he's pitched with the All-Star break. He's done a great job in 12 games. Hasn't given up an earned run yet. 1-1 record. Lefties hitting just $130 against Perez.
We should mention that with the addition of Melky Cabrera to the roster, Neil Wagner, the right-handed reliever, was sent back to AAA Buffalo. Sam Full fouls it up, 0-2.
That's the bad side about baseball right there. Neil Wagner did everything to stay here. Pitched well. And should be here, but he had an option left. And to get Melky Cabrera onto the roster, they had to make a move. He had an option. The other relievers did not. So Neil Wagner has to go down to Buffalo.
Cabrera is back on the active roster, and he has contributed. He singled and scored the Blue Jays' only run in this ball game in the second inning. The Blue Jays will see Ricky Romero start on Monday in Buffalo, and then Jay Happ, the left-hander, has been moved up to AAA Buffalo. He will make the start on Tuesday. What's your feelings about how long it might be before Jay Happ is back with the Blue Jays?
Well, talking with some of the Jays, they want 3 or 4 starts down in the minor leagues. Jay pitched 5 innings the other day. That was down in Dunedin, I'm sure, against those A-ball players. They were able to get 5 innings from him. Now up to up to AAA. I'm sure it's going to be 2, maybe even 3 more starts where he can stretch out, get his feet underneath him, make sure that knee is healthy. Everything else about the line drive off his head is fine except the knee. That buckled a little bit when he fell to the ground.
Full fights it up and stays alive. Jay Happ last pitched on May 7th. It was against this same ball club, Tropicana Field. He was hit by that line drive off the bat of Desmond Jennings and hasn't pitched in the big league since. Of course, the Blue Jays then will get all sorts of log jams. Sergio Santos, you would imagine, is close to his decision situation. Full grounds out to second. 1 out here in the 7th.
The all-new, completely re-engineered 2014 Acura MDX, the luxury SUV redefined. Experience it now at your local Acura dealer.
Beautiful Sunday afternoon in and around Rogers Center. On Perez, there was a first pitch breaking ball for a strike to Desmond Jennings. Jennings has been quiet this afternoon. A couple of strikeouts and a ground out.
Quiet for him, right? In this ballpark?
Yeah, he's really done a good job. He got his first big league hit in this ballpark. Always enjoyed hitting at Rogers Center. That can be said about Will Myers as well. Myers played the first 2 games in this series. First time he's ever played baseball outside of the United States. Juan Perez got a late break off the mound, and Encarnacion's able to beat Jennings to the bag. 2 down. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. Ben Zobrist is 0 for 3, and interesting how these last two games have changed dramatically. Zobrist and Jennings were on base all afternoon yesterday, and the Rays were able to score 4 runs today. They haven't been on base, and they've still scored 4 runs.
Zobrist multi-hit games in the first 2 games in this series. 3 hits on Friday. That was his 5th 3-hit game of the season with a home run.
Desmond Jennings was on base 4 times in yesterday's game. He had a walk and 3 singles. Three balls and a strike, 2 outs. We're in the 7th. Tampa Bay playing for the sweep. And Perez will walk Zobrist with 2 outs. Tampa Bay just a game and a half behind the Boston Red Sox in the AL East, and they had a couple of concerns about their road record. They moved to a game over 500 on the road this year, but you can see they've been a good traveling ball club the last 3 years.
And you know why? Because we were talking about it last inning. Great pitching and great defense. If you pitch and you play defense, you got a chance to win. I don't care where you're playing the game. You got a chance to win. They have the best road record in the last 3 seasons.
Yeah.
For that reason.
When you look at the team, they're very tight defensively. That gives pitchers confidence to put the ball in play. All of those things play very well on the road.
Plus, another thing they do really well when they travel is they dress up really well. They've had those road nights or road trips where they dress up in costumes.
Themed road trips that Joe Madden has put together. And when it does, it's team building. There's no question about it. And Madden will have various themes throughout the course of a season. They've had Letterman sweaters. They've had all-white trips. They've had Elvis Presley trips.
Right.
NHL sweater trips. They've had all kinds of different themed trips. They even had a trip a couple of years ago where they all wore onesies. Pajamas.
That's right. They had the pajama. It must have been a trip out west, I'm guessing. You know, it's just fun. It's a fun team to be around. And they are a very close team because of all the things that Joe Madden brings to this team.
This is popped back over the screen. When you really think about it, I mean, in this day and age where the ball players are really making a lot of money and sometimes they forget just how much fun it should be. But when you look back to last year, they had a Ken Rosenthal / nerd trip where everybody wore the bow ties. The Wigs Gone Wild trip also happened last year. Longoria hits into the fielder's choice. The inning is over. Blue Jays will go to the bottom of the 7th. They're in need of a rally against a tough Tampa Bay ball club. And it's the top of the order once again. Reyes, Bautista, then Encarnacion. They've got to get something going against Tampa Bay. Baseball. Listen to live audio, follow games pitch by pitch, and enjoy in-game video highlights. The app is available on the iPhone, iPad, iPod Touch, Android, and BlackBerry Z10. Season-long subscription packages are available. Visit BlueJays.com for more information. At-Bat 13 is the official app of Major League Baseball. Rally time for the Blue Jays. Got to figure something out against Chris Archer. He's allowed 1 run on 5 hits. Jose Reyes has been aboard twice. He walked in the 3rd, singled in the 5th. Archer got himself into trouble in the 6th, but pitched his way out of it. He loaded the bases without the benefit of a Blue Jays hit. He hit Adam Lind and walked Melky Cabrera, and he walked Tolley with 2 outs.
And he will probably go on a shorter leash here in the 7th inning. I think he goes until somebody gets on. And then Joe Madden will go to his bullpen.
There's a strike. Believe me, first and foremost in Joe Madden's mind is winning. They have winning on their mind, but at the same time, he's trying to develop character in his young pitcher in Chris Archer, and he gave him an opportunity last inning to do that. So Archer walks the leadoff man here in the 7th. Jamie Wright continues to throw in the Rays bullpen, but Madden would love to see Archer just develop along with his talent level, and he's going to give him opportunities to do that. This is his 10th start of the season.
1 walk in the first 5 innings. And now he has walked his 3rd batter in the last inning plus.
Possibly a little bit of fatigue setting in. Certainly he had no command issues early, as you pointed out.
Pounded it. Threw that fastball and breaking ball in there.
Straight back
Make a
right
play
to our stats man
Make a
who
play.
booted it. Scott Carson went right through his hands.
There it is.
There it is.
There you go, Scotty.
Yeah. Let me pick it up for you.
Get that man a contract.
0-2 in the dirt. What a play by Lobaton. Well, he turned his body, got a great angle on that ball in the dirt and smothered it.
You don't have to catch it. You don't have to put it in the webbing of the glove. Just get your body in front of it. Slide over there. Keep your shoulders square to the baseball. Bend over a little bit. Take it off the chest protector. Keep that double play in order.
Oh, he did it again. You know what? That gives a pitcher so much confidence that he can really snap off that breaking ball. It's not going to get by Lobaton, so Archer said, okay, I'm going to try to throw my best slider. He just overcooked it a bit and bounced 2 of them.
And with 2 strikes, that's not a bad idea to throw it down and away or even in the dirt. Maybe you'll get him swinging at it. Jose sees the ball down so well.
He has homered in 2 straight games.
They got him last time with a pitch up.
Look out, Murph. Wayne Murphy, first base coach, had to dance out of the way. He's got to keep time on the pitcher. He's got to help the base runner, and then he's got to dodge line drive foul balls. Another 2-2 pitch. Reyes at first. Nobody out. Bouncing ball. This could be 2. Kelly Johnson goes to the bag. Back to first. It is a double play. So Chris Archer is helped out by his defense. Kelly Johnson at second. Turned the double play. Went right to the bag and made a strong throw to first. That erases that leadoff walk.
Yeah, it went quickly, too. Again, positioning by the defense almost perfect. You see Johnson almost directly behind the pitcher. Catches it, almost pops out of his glove. Almost. Rolled up his fingers right there. See, it almost pops out, but Johnson gathers himself, and that's an easy play.
So Archer comes back with a first pitch breaking ball.
That whole play was set up by where Kelly Johnson was playing and then where they were going to pitch Jose Bautista.
Of course, Johnson knew that Zobrist was deep in the hole. He had no chance of getting to the bag, so he stepped on the bag himself. Started the double play. Archer has been impressive.
Yep. And we got the little bit of a scouting report from Jim Hickey on Friday night. And he said something that I had to do a double take on.
We actually asked him to repeat it.
Yeah. He says he has the best stuff on their pitching staff.
You got a Cy Young Award winner in David Price. You have an all-star in Matt Moore.
Rookie of the Year and Jeremy Hellickson.
You've got Alex Cobb, who's currently on the disabled list, who is arguably their best pitcher when he got hurt. And the pitching coach says that Archer has the best stuff. Bodes well for the future, I would say. This is popped up and playable. Lobaton off with the mask behind home plate. Archer issues the leadoff walk and then settles in. Blue Jays go down in order. Prior to this game today, Carlos Delgado commemorative baseball was given away to the fans as they entered Rogers Stadium. Rogers Center tonight, and big crowd on hand. Another good crowd all weekend long. The fans have come out to support the Blue Jays. 41,247 on hand this afternoon. Two crowds over 40,000 over the three-game weekend series. Dodgers are in town starting tomorrow night, and you would expect that the fans will turn out for that three-game series.
Have the Dodgers played here maybe one time, I think? I mean, I haven't seen the Dodgers play.
I think they have. I have to go back and look, but I think they have been here in the past.
Yeah, but that's a great team to come out and watch also. I mean, they got stars everywhere.
Matt Kemp is back, and he's had a big day today against Washington. Yasiel Puig, the rookie sensation right fielder.
Carl Crawford's back off the disabled list and playing.
No one's hotter. He's the manager. Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
No one's hotter than Hanley Ramirez right now.
No. Hanley Ramirez is healthy again, and doing his thing. He drove in the go-ahead run with a 10th inning double and scored an insurance run later on in the inning in a Dodgers 3-1 win over Washington. Ramirez is batting .467 in his last 60 at-bats.
I just found the answer. This is going to be the third trip here. They're here in 04 and 07.
Loney gets jammed, and Encarnacion shovels it to Perez for the out. Let me correct that Hanley Ramirez statement. It's the fact that he was batting .467 after the 9th inning in his major league career. So he's always been a clutch hitter late on in the ballgame.
Raking right now. So it should be fun. And we'll get our first shot at Ryu, the pitcher.
He opens up the series. Hyun-Jin Ryu opens up against Josh Johnson, then Chris Capuano and Todd Redmond on Tuesday, and Ricky Nolasco and Esmil Rogers the Wednesday matchup. 3 games against the Dodgers. Ouch. Juan Perez hits Luke Scott. First pitch of the at-bat. Scott homered his last time up against R.A. Dickey.
Fastball in. You see Luke Scott wears a pad on his elbow for a reason. Catches the elbow. You see him trying to turn out of the way just a little bit tardy. That's why you wear that elbow guard right there. That had a fractured elbow written all over it.
A lot of hitters use those body armor pads, and that certainly saved Luke Scott a little added pain. It was Scott and Kelly Johnson who went back-to-back in the 6th inning off R.A. Dickey. 4th time the Rays have hit back-to-back home runs this season.
Joe Madden filling up his lineup with left-handed hitters. Loney, Scott, Johnson, Matt Joyce on deck. Sam Fuld hitting 9th.
There goes the runner, and the tag is not in time. The ball bounced. Reyes had to wait for the short hop, and by the time he caught the ball and put the tag on the bag, Scott was already there for Luke Scott. That's his first steal of the season.
1 for 1. As he gets hit and then goes on the first movement, you can see ball down, you get your glove down, and you start to come up. Watch him come up. And then by the time he goes back down, it's safe. He tags him in the knee, but that foot is already in there. 1 for 1. But they line up that lineup with all those left-handed hitters against R.A. Dickey. This filters right into Juan Perez. Tough on lefties.
Kelly Johnson late on that fastball. Now the Blue Jays had that luxury of 4 left-handers, and they're all very competent. They all pose different problems for hitters. Pushes him back with that inside pitch. One of those other left-handers still down in the pen air loop starts to loosen up. Kelly Johnson coming into this game, he's hit .309 against lefty pitching. And gets a base hit here. Bautista's got a shot. They're going to stop Luke Scott as Bautista delivers a strike to the cutoff man. He got to that ball very quickly and gets it back in. Rogers customers can watch every Blue Jays game this season on Sportsnet live on your smartphone. Visit RogersAnyPlaceTV.com/sports to get started. We mentioned a great crowd on hand at Rogers Center, 41,247 in attendance. John Gibbons has made the call to the bullpen. He's got Aaron Loop ready, so one left-hander will leave, another will come out of that Blue Jays bullpen. Matt Joyce is the scheduled batter, and they have made a counter move. Sean Rodriguez has grabbed the bat. So with Loop into the ball game, Sean Rodriguez will come off the bench. When we come back, it'll be Loop against Rodriguez. The Rays have a 4-1 lead. Smooth of the Game is brought to you by Bacardi Oakard Smooth Spiced Rum. Bacardi, proud partners of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Kelly Johnson's been swinging a hot bat. 3 hits this afternoon. This would have been number 4 if not for Colby Rasmus. All the way to the auxiliary scoreboard, backhanding that ball. That's extra bases. If not for Colby Rasmus with this afternoon's smooth move.
Aaron Loop into the ball game in relief. Sean Rodriguez gets hit by the first pitch. That'll load the bases. Not exactly what John Gibbons had on his mind when he called for Loop. Second batter hit this inning. Adam Lind was hit by a pitch in the 6th inning, but in my opinion, there was no motive behind either Scott being hit or Matt or Sean Rodriguez.
Yeah, you don't want to be yanking a ball like that to load up the bases.
Lobatone hits it on the ground. Reyes to his Stores, back to first. Double play. Encarnacion did a good job to maintain contact with the bag at first. Reyes unloaded quickly to Estores, who made a good pivot at second. Reyes to Estores, and the throw offline, but Encarnacion maintains contact. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. It's a 4-1 Rays lead. Now time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn in the Blackberry Broadcast Studio. Place for quarterfinal action from the CONCACAF Gold Cup. It's Honduras and Costa Rica at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. The quarterfinals of the CONCACAF Gold Cup on Sportsnet World. New pitcher for the Rays, big right-hander, is Jamie Wright, making his 42nd appearance. The veteran has been a nice addition to this bullpen.
18-year veteran with his 10th Major League team. Jamie Wright's got a good fastball still, a very good curveball. He's putting up some good numbers for the Rays. Just 15 base on balls in those 41 games for Wright.
Sean Rodriguez, who entered the ballgame as a pinch hitter, takes over defensively in left field. And with that, Sam Fuld, who started in left, moves from left to right. Matt Joyce is out of the ball game. Rodriguez is in his spot in the lineup. Adam Lind takes the first pitch outside from Jamie Wright. Blue Jays trail by 3 in the bottom of the 8th. It's a very good bullpen that Tampa Bay features, and Wright, one of Four right-handers they have in their bullpen. They have 3 left-handed pitchers, all very good lefties. Lynn drives it over the glove of Loney into right field. Sam Full quickly over to cut it off. And airmails in second base, but Longoria is right there backing up the play. A leadoff single for Adam Lynn.
Down by 3 runs, you're not going to run into an out. Full does a good job of charging the ball, cutting the ball off before it gets to the wall for extra bases. He did it a couple of times in left field this afternoon. Now he switches over to right field, picks it up, and gets it back quickly. You talk about this team, the Rays, and their relief pitching. They're number 1 in the American League and allowing the fewest hits per 9 innings.
Melky Cabrera takes a strike. Cabrera in his first game off the disabled list has singled, flied out, and walked. He has scored the only Blue Jays run. That was way back in the second inning. Blue Jays had a 1-0 lead. Oh, and 2. Jamie Wright's been around forever, as Pat mentioned. Former starter. He has developed into a very reliable relief pitcher.
Converted to the bullpen full time in 2008, and he's got that great hook. Over 400 innings since 2008 out of the bullpen. Most relief innings in the majors in that span. So he's not going to get frazzled or worried about anything. Watch this curveball.
Former #1 pick of the Colorado Rockies back in 1993. Drafted out of high school in Oklahoma. Made it to the big leagues for the first time in '96, so he didn't spend much time in the minors. Colby Rasmus. Colby has a single and a double. He's got 2 of the Blue Jays' 6 hits. This is driven to left. Sean Rodriguez, long run, makes the catch in fair territory. Lind hustles back to first and beats the throw. So Wright retires 2 after giving up the leadoff single to Lind. Meister Asturias is 0 for 3. Tampa Bay, a very confident ball club right now. That's in their 19-4 record over the last 23 games. That's the best stretch in the majors this season during 23 games. It's the best stretch in their franchise history. They've also had that stretch in 2004 and 2010.
They had a stretch like this last year where they got great pitching for about 22, 23 games, something like that. The difference, I think they were 11-11. I think that's what it was last year. There were 22 games. They went 11-11. And Jim Hickey was telling us they could have won about 20 of those games. Difference this year, they got the hitting, I think, to complement the pitching that they had.
Now, they've got the offense, of course, and it's been a dramatic improvement. This is a long road trip for Tampa Bay. 3 here. Then they go into Boston. They will play more road games than anybody in the majors in the second half of the season.
Well, that might be a good thing for them. Looking at that one stat board that we threw up there, they have the best road record in baseball since 2010.
They move on to Fenway Park next, and this season they're just 1-5 against the Red Sox in Boston. And of course they are chasing the Boston Red Sox. Start of play this afternoon. They're a game and a half behind Boston for first place. Boston plays later on tonight. In the Sunday night game, Asturias strikes out. Jamie Wright racks up a pair of strikeouts in the 8th. Will go to the 9th. Tampa Bay trying to sweep away the Blue Jays. 2014 Acura MDX, the luxury SUV redefined. Experience it now at your local Acura dealer.
6th inning, R.A. Dickey on the mound, runner on board. A long at bat by Luke Scott results in this home run number 9 of the season. A 2-run shot to right field. Johnson would follow that up with a home run. Luke Scott's got some power. He's had seasons of 27, 25, 23 home runs. Flexing his muscle in the 6th inning to hit the drive of the game today.
Luke Scott would hit that 2-run home run, and then Kelly Johnson right behind him would go back to back. Aaron Loop. Well, the first pitch strike to the number 9 hitter, Sam Fuld. Fuld is 1 for 3. Started in left field. He's moved to right field. Aaron Loop hit the first batter he faced entering the ball game in the 8th inning. It's Sean Rodriguez, the pinch hitter, but then he was able to get the double play ball off the bat of Jose Lobaton. And that was a big out for Juan Perez. Juan Perez, as Pat mentioned when he entered the game, had not allowed an earned run, and that keeps his streak intact. He's now thrown 21 consecutive scoreless innings. He is 1/3 away from tying the Blue Jays franchise record. Fuld serves one into left. Cabrera is there. 1 down. Fernando Rodney loosening up for the Rays, and he has certainly righted the ship lately. He made an error in yesterday's game that gave Blue Jays hope late in the ball game, but he was able to get out of it. With that, Rodney picked up his 23rd save of the season. Desmond Jennings 0 for 4 with a pair of strikeouts. Good changeup from Loop, and he is quickly ahead 0-2.
Been doing that more often, throwing that changeup both to the righties and to the lefties. Loop's got good numbers also coming out of the bullpen. When they space him out like that and they get enough work, but not too much work, it's the best bullpen in the American League.
Well, he sawed off Jennings with that pitch, really got it down in on his hands, and he threw him a great changeup and then got the fastball in a good spot. See that yellow number 3, that fastball jammed at Jennings.
Go back in there. That's what it looks like they're going to do again. And he has that ability with that crossfire delivery. Get that fastball into those right-handers.
93 is a firm fastball. And Luke has a delivery that's difficult for hitters to pick up the baseball. Missed with that changeup. 1 out, top of the 9th inning. Another changeup, and Jennings strikes out for the 3rd time this afternoon.
Well, that's one thing that the Jays have done. They've kept Jennings off the bases. And they've really bottled up Zobrist also. Good changeup here. Down and away, doubled up on it. Threw it for ball 2, and then came right back to it for strike 3.
Big breaking ball outside to Ben Zobrist. Zobrist, the shortstop. 0 for 3 with a walk. Zobrist is playing shortstop in place of the injured Yunel Escobar, who has a hamstring issue. Escobar tested that hamstring on the field before the ball game, and they don't expect him to be out long. There was some question as to whether or not they would disable Escobar. He went through that workout and passed with flying colors, so they will keep him active, and they're hopeful of getting him back on the field in Boston.
Had the big meeting after he took the ground balls over at first base. If they had the DL, he would have been gone for this whole road trip.
Obviously a pivotal road trip for Tampa Bay. They've got their sights set on the lead in the AL East. They go into Boston for 4 games and finish up in New York for a 3-game weekend series. Strike 3 call there at Luke with a good inning. Couple of strikeouts. The Rays are retired in order, but the Blue Jays will go to the 9th trailing by 3. Fernando Rodney poised to come on. It'll be Josh Tolley, number 8. Then the 9th hitter, Brett Lloyd, back to the top of the order. Jose Reyes. He's been on base 3 times this afternoon. Fans, a reminder, coming up next, it's connected on East Ontario, West and Pacific. Then it's soccer. CONCACAF Gold Cup quarterfinal action on Sportsnet World right after the ball game. Great afternoon for baseball. Blue Jay fans anxious for a 9th inning rally against one of the toughest relievers in the game. Fernando Rodney picked up save number 23 yesterday.
Yeah, it's also number 71 as a Tampa Bay Ray, tying him with Danny Baez for second place on the Rays' all-time save list. 370 earned run average. That has come down. Got off to a rocky start this year. You see the 5 blown saves already. That was early in the season when he was just cranking it up, and he is on a roll right now. 12 strikeouts per 9 innings, and he's got the great fastball and the great changeup. That's the pitch that you've got to look out for. Last year, batters hit .071 off of that changeup with 2 strikes. Pretty impressive numbers.
Blue Jays have saddled him with 2 blown saves this season. 2 of the 5 blown saves he's been charged with come at the hands of the Blue Jays. It's 8-9-1 for Toronto. 4-1 Tampa Bay lead. First pitch strike from Rodney. He's threw that pedestrian fastball at 94. He's got a little bit more in the tank.
94 pedestrian. I have seen him hit 99. 98, that one just get over for strike number 1.
.97, but well out of the zone. 2 balls and a strike.
Blue Jays have to think about, okay, we've got to get some base runners. He has been known to be a little wild at times. Just wait him out. Make him get that ball in the strike zone. They need base runners. That's all you're thinking about right now.
3-1 to Tolley. Josh Tolley has the only Blue Jays RBI of the afternoon. He had a ground rule RBI double in the second. That came with 2 outs. That cost the Blue Jays a run when the ball bounced out of play. There's a fastball strike.
Taking all the way.
He throws that fastball with a two-seam grip and still throws at 96, 97 miles an hour.
Look at the rotation, spinning sideways like that to get some movement on it.
Bounced in the dirt. Tolle with the leadoff walk. Well, one thing, the Rays have issued a lot of walks to the Blue Jays in this series, and they haven't been able to capitalize.
Surprising. 3-2 changeup. Up by 3 runs, going for the strikeout. That's his changeup right there. Last year, only 5 walks when a at-bat was ending in a changeup. Only 5 walks, and you can see he's frustrated that he walked him on a 3-2 change.
Well, I still don't understand why you throw a 3-2 changeup. It's a 3-run lead.
Yeah. Challenge him.
Yeah. He can hit it 9 miles, and it's still only going to count 1. Brett Lawrie takes the first pitch strike. Ball on the strike. Blue Jays trying to rally here in the 9th. Bouncing ball. Longoria dives and throws it over the head of Kelly Johnson. Tolle will get up and go to third. It's an infield hit for Brett Lawrie. It's an error on Evan Longoria, and that snaps his airless streak at 42 games. Ironically, that's his first error since May 21st, right here at Rogers Center.
Against the Blue Jays, probably would have been better off trying to let Zobrist catch that ball, only because he had to dive for it. Zobrist looked like he was ready to backhand it and try and get it out. Evan, though, with a great range, trying to make the play. And the Blue Jays, just like that,
get back to where they want to be.
Yeah, get that time run to the plate.
Top of the order. Reyes has been aboard 3 times. 2 walks and a single. He's also grounded out. Reyes struck out on a changeup when he faced Rodney yesterday.
Yeah, things got a little hairy for Fernando Rodney in yesterday's game. Started with the 8-hitter, 8-9, just like today. Lawrie walked, Reyes struck out, then Bautista Encarnacion got aboard.
Another changeup, another swing and a miss. Nobody out. Boy, this has been a familiar theme for the Blue Jays. The last couple of games, they've been able to get guys on. Yesterday, in the 8th and 9th, they stranded 5 and lost 4-3. It looks as though Rodney doesn't want to throw Reyes a fastball at all.
Doesn't he have to show him one at least? Maybe a fastball up or a fastball off the plate just to get him thinking of something different. Thrown him 3 straight changeups.
There's a fastball up at 98. Yeah. If I were catching right now, I would throw another fastball.
Because
he's thinking changeup.
He's thinking changeup. I'm thinking changeup.
Yeah, you got him yesterday on a changeup. You got him in the hole on 2 changeups, but they're going right back to the changeup. And Reyes drives it into center field, and that's going to get down. All the way into center. Lawrie is being waved around third. Kelly Johnson, no throw, and Reyes gets that changeup.
He threw him too many. He showed him early in the count to get ahead 0-2. Threw him the fastball. You're right. You throw him another fastball, You might lock him up right there, but he goes right back to the change. This one up a little more, and Reyes was waiting for it. You could just see him waiting for that changeup, and rips it into the gap for 2 runs. Run down by Jennings, or that's 3.
Reyes encouraging his teammates to finish the comeback. Bautista takes one inside. Desmond Jennings did a heck of a job of cutting that ball off. If that gets past him, it's 3, maybe 4.
He is sitting on third base for sure.
Bautista with the count in his favor. Two and 0. The very good defensive ball club, the Tampa Bay Rays, have opened the door by committing an error. Evan Longoria at third threw over Kelly Johnson to spark this rally. Shot but foul.
Jose is looking for one pitch, trying to end this game with one swing. He gets the fastball, but he yanks it a little bit too far, too quick. He's looking to pop one into the stands right here off of Rodney.
Rodney has 3 saves against the Jays, but he also has been charged with 2 blown saves.
One of those, the home run by J.P. Arancibia.
Bautista stays alive. The Blue Jays have 4 walk-off wins this season. Bautista went after that high fastball and strikes out. One down here in the ninth. Now for a preview of what's coming up on Connected. Here's Caroline Cameron. One out, the tying run at second. Jose Reyes, Edwin Encarnacion at the plate.
Stand them up with that heater. Well, these games have been outstanding since these 2 teams have played each other here in 2013. You mentioned the comeback wins. The Blue Jays have 4 comeback wins versus the Rays this year. 3 of them in their last at bat.
Kelly Johnson, the second baseman with Encarnacion at the plate, has the luxury of literally standing directly behind Reyes at second to keep him close in case he has any thoughts of trying to steal third. There you see Johnson shadowing Reyes. Rodney waited out Encarnacion, who asked for time.
Yeah, and he can't hear the umpire call timeout. Not with the way the fans are right now. There's R.A. Dickey's come back out. He is preoccupied thinking about Reyes. He's not looking at home plate. And he just can't hear Jim Joyce.
2-1. 100. Got a big arm.
I think he said, you know what, I've gotten beaten with my changeup by Reyes. I'm going to reach back against these power hitters and challenge them.
3-1. Adam Lind to follow. Rodney checking with Jim Joyce on the location of that pitch.
Jimmy Joyce telling him it was up.
Encarnacion reached on the air by Rodney yesterday. Ground ball to third. Longoria looks Reyes back, and Reyes takes off for third. Loney with a good scoop at first base. He had nothing on his mind other than catching that short hop throw. He wasn't concerned about Reyes moving up 90 feet.
Yeah, and Reyes did a good job because Longoria's got to play deep with 2 strikes against Edwin Encarnacion. Ground ball to him. Watch Reyes. He knows he's got to throw it across the diamond. So he just takes off with his good speed. How about Loney going down and catching that in-between hop? That is a tough play for a first baseman. It's not the short hop. It's the in-between hop.
So the tying run now just 90 feet away. Reyes breaks down the line. And Rodney distracted for sure, threw that one way outside.
He was way off at third base. Now Evan Longoria is going to come in and play even with the bag.
Longoria keeping an eye on Reyes at this point. Lind with the count in his favor, 1-0. Now 2-0. Melky Cabrera on deck. Lind popped up to the center fielder to end yesterday's game against Fernando Rodney.
And I think he challenged him too. I think he challenged him with a heater.
Rodney may have gotten the call there. 2-1 instead of 3-0. You're right about Rodney. He has gone away from that changeup since Reyes hit the 2-run double.
Yep. Said, you know what? I'm going to just play old country hardball here. I'm going to throw it as hard as I can and see if I can get out of this inning.
I don't know if I agree with that. And he walks Lind. His best pitch is his changeup. And he's gone away from it. Rajai Davis has popped out of the Jays dugout. He'll take over as a pinch runner at first base. Rodney will get a visit from the pitching coach, Jim Hickey. Lind works Rodney for the walk. Davis with great speed on as the pinch runner.
They have elite speed on the bases with Rajai Davis at first, Jose Reyes at third base. And if you're the Tampa Bay Rays, what do? Do you play behind Davis to close off the hole on the right side? Do you hold him on? That's the go-ahead run at first base.
Now they're going to play behind him. It's interesting, too. And now Loney will shorten up, but he is definitely behind Davis. They're going to concede second base to Rajai Davis.
They're going to play for the win, play the percentages, and stop that ball from going into the outfield.
Now Loney will step on the bag. They want him to hold Davis. He is trying to get Rodney's attention. There goes Davis, and it was academic.
Doesn't matter now.
They switched their minds. Rodney was in his set position, and Loney wanted his attention. They were going to hold Davis on.
So Rajai just takes off.
25th steal for Rajai Davis. He is the winning run at second. Melky Cabrera. He's behind 0-2.
He is just reaching back, throwing it as hard as he can right now. Trying to two-seam it, trying to get that ball to sink a little bit.
Melky Cabrera in his first game off the DL. Second and third, 0-2, 2 outs. He stays alive, 100 miles an hour. Rodney's got to be a little gun shy of bouncing that changeup. He did earlier in this inning.
He was just challenging him. The outfield do not think that Melky Cabrera is going to pull Rodney. They are shading him to left field in the shallow.
Rodney has thrown 32 pitches this inning. Another 100-mile-an-hour fastball, and he has scrapped his changeup.
Yep. That is Sean Rodriguez, an infielder. Desmond Jennings in center with 1 outfield assist, and Sam Full in right field in case there's a hit to the outfield. You can see him thinking right now, should I try it or should I just reach back, maybe take a couple of minutes here to throw your best fastball.
1-2. Popped up toward the seats. It'll reach the seats, well out of play. Tell you what, Blue Jays have certainly had opportunities in this series, but haven't been able to come through with the big hit. We'll do it again, 1-2. Reyes at third, Davis at second, and the catcher wants time. Bouncing ball, Longoria at third, takes his time, and the Rays will win it. Tampa Bay sweeps the Blue Jays in the 3-game series. Fernando Rodney once again on the ropes in the 9th, but picks up his 24th save of the season.
Just effective enough to preserve the win. A couple of runners on. Blue Jays again just cannot get a big hit when they need it. They leave a runner on base in every inning except the first inning.
Can't come up with a clutch hit. You got to tip your cap to Rodney, who has sorted things out. Coming up next, it's Connected on East Ontario, West End Pacific, CONCACAF Gold Cup Soccer quarterfinal action on Sportsnet World. We'll see you tomorrow night. The Dodgers here at Rogers Center.